Okay, the lineup for what is now the rubber game of this shortened 3-game series against the Red Sox. Officially, it's still a 4-game set, but it won't be decided until the final game is played later this summer. DJ LeMahieu is leading off. He is at third base, picked up a base hit last night. Giancarlo Stanton still looking to get going post-break. They're building him up towards the outfield. He is your DH tonight. Gary Sanchez had a big go-ahead home run in last night's game. He is batting third. He is behind the dish. Gleyber Torres also homered last night. He is at shortstop tonight. Chris Gittens is your first baseman tonight, and I so want to see him get into one and send it into orbit before he goes back down to the minor leagues. Trey Ambergy back out there in right field tonight. Rougned Odor is at second base. Ryan LaMarre called back up. He is in left field. And Greg Allen has been swinging the bat pretty well since he got called up. He is out there in center field tonight. Certainly not the outfield that you envisioned to begin the season, but the show must go on. And on the mound, Jameson Taillon. He is making his 18th start of the season. He's been solid as of late. Overall in the year, he is 4-4 with a 4.90 ERA in 17 starts. He's thrown 82 2/3 innings, 86 strikeouts. He's got a 1.270 whip. He's allowed a few too many home runs, 16, but he's had really good control, just 24 walks. Looking to pick up his 5th win of the year and move above 500 on the season. Quick word from Manscaped, and then we will get it on. The Olympics are back, and it's time to award the gold medal for male grooming products, Manscaped. Their 4th generation performance package includes the brand new Lawnmower 4.0. Talk about a world-class dismount into a post-quarantine world. The world is now open for business, and the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is here to help get you ready. Inside, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, plus 2 free gifts, Performance Boxer Briefs and the Shed Travel Bag. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code NYY Recaps. That's all one word at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code NYY Recaps at manscaped.com. Your balls will feel like they won the gold. So help yourself, help my sponsor, help the show. Go to manscaped.com, use the code NYY Recaps.
My kind of team, Charlie. It's my kind of team.
How's it going, everybody? Just getting set up here. We are getting ready to have Yankees versus Red Sox. And last night was kind of a long night, but the Yankees ultimately were awarded the victory. You get the victory if you're winning when the game is postponed, but it doesn't feel like a real victory. You want to come out tonight and beat the Red Sox with a bunch of Scranton Wilkes-Barre rail riders. Nicholas Garcia says, I've seen so many baseball channels sponsored by Manscaped. Yeah, they're definitely getting into it. Let me just work on these comments here. Make the sizes a little bit better. Okay, bam. Aryav says, the Sox lineup tonight is stacked. You're not wrong. Looks good. First pitch of the game from Taillon is popped up. So I'll be watching on the Watch ESPN app. And this one is caught in left by, I guess that was LaMarre. Is LaMarre wearing number 39 now? He looked like Mike Tauchman out there. So lineup for tonight's game, in case you missed it: LeMahieu, Stanton, Sanchez, Torres, Gittens, Ambergy, Odor, LaMarre, and Allen. Taillon's been better lately. So I'm watching on the app in front of me. I'm not going to always respond to comments because I'll be tuned into the game, but I'll try and talk about what's going on in the game. Alex Verdugo's got a terrible beard. Alex Verdugo looks like he sells drugs outside of a 7-Eleven. That's what he looks like. Anthony, YouTube fan, says that Tim LeCastro was looking interesting and made a nice catch, and now he's out for the year. Yeah, it's a tough blow for LeCastro. Nice changeup that faded over the inside corner from Jameson Taillon. Honestly, that was kind of a mistake pitch. Verdugo could have dropped the bat head on that, and it could easily be 1-0. That was not a great pitch. THG says, why is Benintendi not being mentioned as Verdugo strikes out on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball? Well, I mentioned him. Yeah, I don't know. I think that a lot of times the guys Cashman comes up with are just kind of a surprise at the end of the day. I tell you what, I'm loving having this thing wired because I can stream uninterrupted and still use the Wi-Fi to put something cool in the background. You see the fire I got here? And then we've got the Yankees game playing on ESPN on Wi-Fi. So it allows me to just do a lot more. So that's something that I have to give a shout out to SB Games because I basically used all the funds he gave me to rewire my house. Every dollar I get from donations goes back into getting this channel better. So Dono from SB Games, appreciate it.
SB Games spends way too much money on me.
He set the trend. Hi, 12397 says, was Derek named after Derek Jeter? I was named after Derek Jensen, I think his name was, a football player for the Raiders. My middle name is Peter, though, so I'm one letter off from being Derek Jeter. By the way, this shirt, if you guys are interested in this shirt, this is a Corey Kluber no-hitter shirt. You can find it in my store. We actually had a watch party like this the night that Corey Kluber threw a no-hitter. So it'll be a 1-2 pitch from Jameson Taillon. Ground ball to third. LeMahieu up with it. Fires across. And he has an easy 1-2-3 inning. Jameson Taillon looking good so far. I tell you what, I really want the Yankees to pull this one out. I want the Yankees to find a way to beat the Red Sox with their B team. Not even their B team. This is like the C squad. Brendan says, so you're a Raiders fan? I'm not a Raiders fan. My dad's a Raiders fan. I don't know why my the size of my comments keeps changing, so I'm going to go ahead and shrink these up a little bit. Put them right here. Alexander Lee says, yo! How's it going, Alex?
Hello there.
FG says, great first inning for Taillon. I agree. Yeah, Taillon, he's been better as of late. He's actually gotten stronger as the season went along, which is the opposite of what I thought would happen because of those 2 surgeries, not having pitched in a long time. But having changed up his motion, he's basically taken a whole bunch of stress off of his arm. He's using his enormous frame to drive down the mound now and using leverage in his back to really drive that baseball through the zone. And I think that's taken a lot of pressure off of his elbow and shoulder. Not that he's ever really had a bunch of shoulder problems, but the elbow's been an issue. Hi, 12397 says, make sure to like the video, guys. Absolutely. That's a good point. Appreciate that. MMS says, let me guess, you're a Giants or a Jets fan. Nope. Try again. Actually, I grew up rooting for the Raiders for a while, and then I switched to the Dolphins right around the time Ace Ventura came out because I like Dan Marino. I actually got to meet Dan Marino. But, yeah, I mostly root for the Dolphins. Last couple of years, I've been rooting more for just the stars to play each other because the Dolphins haven't been very good. But this upcoming year, I'm looking forward to a good year from the Dolphins. Philly says, do you think if we beat the Red Sox, we will be 7 back? Is it possible we land Gallo just to make a run at the postseason? I mean, it's possible. I think Brian Cashman still wants to win. If you find a way to win with your B squad, your next man up, that does a lot for team confidence. And then, right now, as DJ takes a strike. Right now, you just need anybody who can help. What I read, there was a tweet. I want to say it was from either Dan Federico or maybe it was Bob Klappich. I don't remember. But he said that Brian Cashman is looking for outfielders everywhere. He's basically scouring the earth for those guys and seeing what he can get. I almost said those MS. I've been watching too much Tarantino. I was scour the earth for that MF. Ramon Vlog says, do you think the Yankees will buy? I think it depends a lot on what happens today. John N. with the super chat. He says, 2 great starts from the receding hairline man himself. Appreciate the dono. By the way, do you guys like the new dono sound? I felt like the air horn was getting a little tired. A few people mentioned that they were getting tired of it. And as the channel gets bigger, I want to appeal to more of an audience. So I'm trying to have less annoying sounds. And I feel like this dono sound, it's pleasant. So Mitra says, Stanton trade is as bad as the deal for Ellsbury. Your thoughts? Think about it this way. This is how I like to think about it. Stanton still has the entire Ellsbury contract left on his deal. Isn't that ridiculous? He's still got the entire contract for more money. So it was not a good deal. It was not one of Cashman's shining moments. Richard says, the LaCastro injury gutted me. He was fitting in so well. He's a pesky player. He was doing a nice job. It hurts me because I know how hard he's worked to get to the big leagues, and he's a speed guy. He's not up there for anything other than his speed, and he suffered an injury that could take away his one big weapon. Stanton rips it to left field, but it's going to go foul. Should mention DJ grounded out. No score in the first. AB says, what channel is it on? It is on ESPN tonight. Stanton chases another fastball up and in. To me, Stanton's got kind of a hole in his swing up and in. With that closed stance, you can get up and in on him if you spot it. Only problem is if you leave it out over the plate or miss low, he'll crush it. Hayden McLean says, would you ever move to more wider MLB content as the channel grows or stick to strictly Yankees? I think this channel is going to stick to strictly Yankees, but during the off season, I think that like anything goes because there's nothing going on with the Yankees. So I may open it up to do more what they call evergreen content that's good for a wider audience for a longer time. But I'm always going to try and give it some kind of a Yankees connection, if that makes sense. I might tell the story of, a certain Yankees player and then break that out into a bigger story. One of the reasons I've been studying so much about Tarantino lately, and I'm studying a lot of directors, is because I'm realizing that it's basically like directing little movies, what I do, putting together a experience for the audience. As Stanton takes one inside, almost hit him. And so I'm looking at ways to create, long-lasting, entertaining videos that get a lot of views. So I've got a list of ideas. I want to do a video about, actually, I'm not even going to tell you because I don't want somebody to beat me to it over the next couple of months. But there's Stanton strikes out on an inside pitch. There's a lot of ways I can go, but it's always going to be during the season Yankees related. I do have another channel called STREAMSKI that I am going to do more movie reviews and stuff on soon. I just watched that Anthony Bourdain video. Philly says, would you ever cover the World Baseball Classic? Yeah, I'll definitely cover the World Baseball Classic. I don't know if I'll do it like intensely, but I might do like watch parties like this for big games. Like, and it won't always be America either. Like if there's a game between Cuba and Japan, like that would be a great game. I would love to watch that. And I think that would be a fun watch party. And like, it could open up the, subscriber base to people who are more interested. I'm also going to do more off-season stuff where I profile like potential free agents, so that way it applies to every team that's looking for a free agent. So let's say Corey Seager is going to be a free agent. I'll say, free agent target Corey Seager, and I'll just basically do a video on him. Jesus Chavez says Stanton is a waste of roster space. He is sorry.
Nobody messes with the Jesus.
Gary Sanchez up, 1-1 count. A lot of cutters tonight from Perez. He throws that cutter in on the hands of righties. Catcher's calling for it up this time, and Sanchez fouls it away. That looked like another cutter at 90 miles an hour. That boy Dre says that homer by Gleyber was the luckiest home run you've ever seen. Yeah, that was not a great swing. He just kind of popped it up. Luke Hughes, or Luke WS, says, hi, how's it going, Luke? You the man.
Hello there.
Red M91 says, will you cover the Olympics? Probably not. I don't really care about the Olympics. And it happens during baseball season. So, unlikely. Curveball misses to Gary Sanchez. 2-2 is the count. 16 pitches so far for Perez. You guys hearing me okay? I'm always a little nervous about this new mic. I've moved it around. I've changed mics a couple of times this year, but I like this one the best. Here's the pitch to Sanchez. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. At the knees, 89-mile-an-hour changeup. Not a good showing for Gary Sanchez there. Good inning for Perez. I saw that Vladdy Guerrero Jr. hit another home run today. He's got over 30 now, 31 home runs, I believe. Hayden says, you have me watching all the way from London. Such good content. I appreciate that, my man. Thank you very much. Let's Go wants football content. I've been thinking about extending, branching off NYY Recaps and using the same style of videos for different teams. Football is a team that I've considered, but I wouldn't be able to host it. I would just basically, create the content. So that would be like a 2-person operation. I'm thinking about that. I'm also looking at bringing in a co-host for the Frieze. I've talked to a couple of my friends about coming on as guests, as recurring conversational guests. And, this winter, the thought is, while there's no baseball going on, just to do a regular podcast, talk a little bit about baseball, but also talk about life and general and movies and stuff. By the way, last time we talked about baseball movies, I want to hear your best TV shows, because I'm looking for bingey stuff for when the season's over. Right now we're working through Friends. I'm on season 3 or whatever. Jesus Chavez says, do you think we will make it to the wild card? I do not.
Nope.
Felipe says, hello from Brazil. Hello there.
Hello.
Hayden thinks I should branch out. I would love to branch out. The problem is I do all of this myself, and it's hard to do. It's not easy. So to take on more content, it would have to be a full-time job first. So first things first is to get to this NYY Recaps to the point where I can sustain it and work on other areas. Step 2 is building out my other channel, STREAMSKI, with more stuff. And then step 3 is expanding to other recaps, whether it's football, basketball. Also talk to a couple of other creators about having pieces on this channel just to kind of add more content. Frankie Baseball, that. Pat's on all the time. I asked him if later on he wouldn't mind submitting like a recurring piece. So that's something that might happen, hopefully. But all that stuff that needs to be worked out in the off season, I think. Taillon toes the slab. 10 pitches in the first inning. Yankees are 47-44, 8 games back in the East. Boston 56-37, having an outstanding year. They are in first place. First pitch is strike from Taillon. Xander Bogaerts with a 924 OPS, 318, 15 home runs. Look, that's a team that not afraid to pick up hits in ways that aren't home runs. You know, they get some high batting averages. Yankees don't have anybody who hits like that. And I know that the critics will say, oh, batting average doesn't matter because it doesn't value, or it values all hits equally. And things are so much more important if you have a high OPS or whatever. And the way I view it is I like a high OPS, but I like a significant portion of that OPS to come from hits because I want guys who are going to move runners around the bases, create action, not only because it's good baseball, but because it's more fun to watch. Hayden says, just followed StreamSki. Never knew you were big into film. Yeah, all these movies on my shelf. That's my Blu-ray collection. I'm a big movie fan. Ryan is watching from South Korea. Let's go, Yanks. Devers talking to himself at the plate. He's very animated up there. I like him. What do you guys think of A-Rod in the booth? Honestly, like, I just don't like A-Rod, and I can't put my finger on it. I know he won us the 07 or the 09 World Series. Excuse me. I just don't like him. Yo, Elvis, by the way, you get your dono hype last night. I saw your dono come in right as I was signing off, and I meant to say something. So I appreciate that. Thank you for the dono last night. Are you watching the game live? Yes, I am watching the game live. Richard says, how is Park not in the lineup with all of these injuries? Same with Tyler Wade. He's at least a major league player. Luke says he hates A-Rod in the booth. Junior says he talks a lot of nonsense. I'll say this about A-Rod. He knows the game and he makes some really good points. But everything about him as a human being just feels inauthentic to me. He feels like Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. Jack says he makes him cringe. Yo Elvis says A-Rod should be the hitting coach. I wouldn't object to A-Rod as a hitting coach because the man knows hitting. The man knows hitting. But as Smokey says, Smokey McBongwater says, A-Rod as a TV personality seems super fake. You know, I agree 100%.
Yes, I agree.
Corey says StatCast on ESPN2 doesn't have A-Rod. Interesting. I'm pretty sure I could have watched the ESPN2 version, but I just went to watchespn.com. So this is kind of, Ryan has a good point. He says A-Rod is very knowledgeable, 100% correct, but he gives off bad vibes sometimes. Also 100% correct. Runner on first from a walk. First pitch curveball from Taillon. Good curveball. Somebody just asked what I thought of Taillon. I think he's got good stuff. I think he's got a good fastball, good curveball. His changeup's been better. I think he's kind of working on maybe a little cutter. I like his size, his frame as a pitcher. He's been better as of late, but overall, he has not had a great year. But I do like him as a person, as a pitcher, and as a guy who might get better. This one is popped up to right field. Odor makes the catch. Odor wearing number 12 now. He recently changed his number. Reminder, you can go to manscaped.com, use the code NYY Recaps, get 20% off and free shipping. Prince Boss says he loves Bob Costas. He has a baseball kind of tone in the booth. Yeah, I love Bob Costas. Bob Costas is one of the best that's ever done it. Voden Moonwalker says, Bombers fan behind enemy lines. Go Yanks from Rhode Island. Yeah, Rhode Island's a lot of Red Sox fans. I do like Rhode Island, though. I always liked it because when we were on trips, it wouldn't take long to drive through. Bacon is my real alias with the super chat. Appreciate that. Says, how long do you think until we see number 28 from the Yankees? I think we'll see it within the next 3 years. I do. I would love to see Jason Dominguez as a snap throw to first. Safe. Pitch was a swing and a miss. Nice play by Gary Sanchez. He had to short arm the throw so that he wouldn't hit the bat, I think. But I would love to see Jason Dominguez win it as a rookie, whether that's next year or the year after. That would be nice. That's something to shoot for. Like a world championship team with one of the most exciting young players in baseball. That's kind of what we should all have in mind. Garrett Cole, I think, is going to be an ace. Injury, like in case, unless there's no, how do I say this? If he doesn't get injured, Garrett Cole is going to be an ace for several more years. You know, I'd say probably another 2 to 3 years at least. He's going to be ace level pitcher. And even when his stuff begins to fall off, he's so smart that he'll be able to adjust to having less velocity. You know, he'll do the Mike Messina thing where he pitches to soft contact. So I'm not worried about Garrett Cole. I just worry about possible injuries like I would with any pitcher, especially somebody who's pushing the limits of what human beings can do. I mean, look at Jacob deGrom. He's always injured. Always. Even though he's pitched really well, you know, he's got forearm tightness, and then 1 week it's shoulder issues, and then his rib cage or whatever. He's always injured. And I don't want that to happen to Garrett Cole, which is one of the points I made on the Frieze this morning, where I said that I want the Yankees to consider resting him a little bit down the stretch. But I don't think that Garrett Cole is going to get hurt. Like, I don't like, he'll have Nixon stuff here, but I don't see anything in his motion that puts stress on his elbow or whatever. But freak injuries happen, so we've got to be prepared for that. I think Aaron Judge has a window of a couple of years where he's going to be really good, but I think he's going to decline in his 30s. And I'm hesitant to give him a $200-300 million contract. I just am. I would like to win it while the Yankees still have him under this affordable contract. The Yankees got to figure out a way to get rid of the contract of Giancarlo Stanton. I don't know how easy that's going to be. I think it's going to be tough. Junior B says, Chuck Knobloch, number 12, or was it number 11? He was number 11. You might remember when Roger Clemens first got to the Yankees, he was wearing number 12. He eventually switched to 22. Duran's got a nice swing, this rookie for the Red Sox. 3-2 count, 2 outs, 29 pitches through 1 2/3 for Jameson Taillon. Runner on first. No score, top of the second. They're showing Ambergy out there in right. He looks good in pinstripes, man. He looks like a Yankee. Central casting. Popped up. 96 mile an hour. Good pitch. LaMarre drifts back towards the warning track, makes the catch, wearing number 39 with the eye black, looking just like Mike Tauchman. Richard says, isn't Judge's contract up next year? I think he's got like a year or two left. I don't know the exact circumstances of his contract, but he's not signed long-term. And he's going to want a long-term deal, especially if he finishes out this year. It sucks that COVID hit him because he was just starting to heat up again. He had a good series up there in Seattle, hit that home run. And then, you know, he had a home run in Houston. And you're just starting to think that he's coming out of it. And then he has a good all-star game, makes that nice catch. You get a couple of days off maybe to heal up. I figured he was going to come back strong, but now we won't see him for another, you know, probably 8 days. Bill Strader says, Judge will be free agent eligible after next season. Luke says, you're my announcer. Hey, I appreciate that. I've always wanted to be an announcer. Let's go ahead and get the charge going. Easy says, do you think Garrett Cole will use that opt-out clause? No, I don't. I really don't. Because, I mean, Boris might be pulling the strings there, but I think he wants to be a Yankee, and I think he wants to win here. And I don't think he's going to get that money anywhere else. Let's go, says Johnny's back. Johnny Lasagna. So we were talking about best TV shows to binge. I need some good TV shows to binge over the next few months. They're showing a commercial for what looks like a PlayStation 5, maybe. Stadium looks kind of empty for a Sunday night game, especially against the Red Sox. Like, the upper deck is practically empty. And I get it. There's still probably people that are worried about COVID or variants or whatnot, but I would think that there would be more people in the stands. First pitch fastball, 91 miles an hour to Gleyber. Gleyber picked up a home run last night, just his 4th of the year. I can't believe he's got 4 home runs in July. He might not hit 10 home runs this year. Fouls one off of the catcher's face, and it looked like shook him up. Might have got his knee a little bit, too. Might have gotten, like, face and then knee. Vasquez. Hobbling a little bit, so I think it did get the knee. They're showing a replay now. Fouled, oh yeah, it hit the inner part of the knee and then came up and hit him underneath the chin on the mask. So I think the mask is fine, but the knee definitely took one in a rough spot. Hayden says, who's your favorite Yankee of all time and why? To me, it's got to be Don Mattingly. I just grew up watching him. He was the captain at the time. Just all class, beautiful swing, great defense. Also suggests Succession. I watched the first season of that. Looked good. Bill Strader says you should check out Mr. In-Between. All right. Alexander Patton says Gleyber has that D. Gordon power now. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Gleyber Torres. It'll be an 0-2. He's got a 80 OPS plus, so 20 points below league average. Inside fastball drilled to deep left. Way back. Gone. About 3 rows deep in the left field seats. It was an up and in fastball, and that's 2 consecutive games with a home run for Gleyber Torres. That was definitely an up and in fastball, and he turned on it. He got the hands in there. 99.6 miles an hour off the bat, 379 feet. Slapping hands with his teammates now. He gives a elbow bump to Chris Gittens and Rougned Odor. Ambergy gives him a tap on the top of the head. This looked like a cutter that didn't cut. Up and in. He pulls his hands in. He gets it square on the barrel. Oh, he got all of that one. That's one he's been needing. Gleyber Torres. The minute we say he has D. Gordon power, he shows us power. Let's hear it from John Sterling.
That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
Aryov says homers in back-to-back at-bats for Gleyber Torres. That's a good point because last night's game ended early. Chris Gittens steps in. He's actually got a 1-2 count already. And Gittens waves over an outside changeup. So Gittens strikes out. He strikes out an awful lot. They're talking about Gleyber's quick hands there. he definitely pulled those hands in. It was an up and in pitch, and he got to it. Nice catch by a fan out there. Felipe says he really likes John Sterling. I'm a big John Sterling fan, too. Bill L says, biggest disappointment this year on the Yankees. I mean, even though Gleyber just hit a home run, I'd have to say Gleyber Torres. Have to. I've also been really disappointed that Corey Kluber, right after throwing that no-hitter, he's thrown like one inning since then. That's been very disappointing. Here's Trey Amberger. He's got an 0-1 count. Swings over a changeup away. Looks like Perez going more to that changeup now. Laura Volpe says, at the game tonight, beautiful homer. Hello from Yankee Stadium. I've been thinking about getting an ad to put up at Yankee Stadium, like, tune in to the watch party. And Ambergy takes a 89-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner. Might have been a sinker. Fourth strikeout of the night for Perez. 2 outs in the inning. But the Yankees lead 1-0. THG says, Derek, do you like Matty V? Yeah, he's one of my all-time favorites, man. Bacon said he drops a question for here first. Dono says, "Are you cool with John Boy?" I have no problem with John Boy. I love John Boy. I watch John Boy all the time. I don't know if John Boy is cool with me because we kind of do the same thing, and I've invited him multiple times to come on the show, and he's never responded. So I think that he might be just busy. So I don't want to assume anything. What are your thoughts on LeMahieu's contract? And what do you think the Yankees dread most this season? So LeMahieu's contract, I thought it was a good contract at the time. I still like LeMahieu's. They're getting a pretty good deal on him. $15 million a year for LeMahieu is pretty good. So I'm good with LeMahieu's contract, although I don't think he's going to be able to be a middle infielder forever. He's playing third tonight. I think he does a nice job at third. He plays first. He's basically a Ben Zobrist type. I'm hoping they get a couple more good years out of him. I still have hope that he can have a good year this year, although his dip has been a little bit disappointing. And then what do the Yankees dread? Excuse me. Honestly, they should be dreading COVID. It's the second time this team has been hit by COVID this year. I would love to see Hoy-Jun Park get a opportunity here pretty soon. To me, he's earned it. Yankees analytics don't love him, but how are you going to know unless you play him? I would have much rather seen Park play in left field than Ryan LaMarre. As Odor grounds out to second. Gonna take a real quick commercial break. I will be back in just a second. Hopefully.
My kind of team, Charlie. It's my kind of team.
All right, we're back. Kelvin Rodriguez says, "We're the TV." I don't really get that. Bill Strader says, "Mike Tauchman with even less hitting. That is who Ryan LaMarre is, and you are not wrong." Jonathan Alvarez is tired of seeing Rougned Odor. I've never been a huge Rougned guy, but right now the Yankees don't have a lot of other options. I would love to see Park get a chance at second base. To me, a guy who hit for that kind of average end power at AAA, I just feel like you should give him a shot. See what he can do. He's obviously not bad. I got to say this. The Red Sox have a ton of clubhouse chemistry. Those little things where they wheel somebody on like a shopping cart after a home run. I mean, that's awesome. Martin Kalunga says, do you think we can call Luke Voit injury prone? He can't stay on the field. Yeah, I definitely call him injury prone at this point. He's been, every year he's had something. Every year. Even last year, he had the foot injury. Man, Buster Olney is looking old these days. Buster Oldknees. Bacon says, Odor was fun on the Rangers. I don't see him fitting him in with the Yankees so far. Luke says, what's your favorite baseball movie? Mine is 61. Major League. The original Major League. In my opinion, that's the best baseball movie I've ever seen. Lori C says, Cashman says publicly the two young guys will be no help, and then a couple weeks later, they're in the Bronx. Yeah, it does a lot for their confidence, doesn't it? Wouldn't you prefer your GM said nice things about their prospects? Look, I've always liked Cashman. I've always thought that he's made some nice moves, but he's somebody's nephew or whatever. Like, that's how he ended up. Like, if you go all the way back, it's actually his dad was friends with George Steinbrenner. That's why all the dominoes fell into place for him to be the GM. Why don't we get a smart baseball person who earned their way into having a big-time job like this? That's just my opinion. 2-1 pitch from Taillon to Vasquez, fouled away. Nobody out here in the second. 34 pitches for Taillon. Sorry, top of the third. Philly says MLB just banned the person who hit Verdugo. Yeah, and the Yankees banned him from the stadium too. Felipe says Aaron Hicks is the most injury-prone Yankee. You're not wrong. He's very injury-prone. Gleyber makes a nice play at shortstop. I'll tell you what, Gleyber has looked silky smooth over there at shortstop. You're seeing in the background here, this is my dog, Cece. Cece, you want to say hi to the people? Yeah. That's my dog, Cece. Named after Cece Sabathia, kind of, but also cat chaser, because we have cats. So I'm just going to drop this out here. We have had one no-hitter on the watch party this year. And then, that was Corey Kluber a couple months ago. And then we haven't really done many since then. But so far, Taillon is not allowed to hit, I don't believe. FG says, Derek, earn their way to a job? The devil, you say. Yeah, 100%. Like, I feel like Brian Cashman fell into this position. He started out as a mailroom intern because his dad was friends with Steinbrenner. And he's won a World Series, but it was 2009 when he signed the three most obvious free agents. It's long past time to reevaluate who's making the decisions for this billion-plus, multi-billion-dollar organization. Just my opinion. Hey, it's SB Games up in this. We were talking about you earlier. You are the man, SB Games.
SB Games spends way too much money on me.
Ryan Kim says, Taillon throwing a no-hitter would be a great comeback story. Yeah, not only the two Tommy John surgeries, but cancer. I'm surprised they make hats big enough that he can wear. He has got a melon. But he is a competitor, you can tell. This one popped to right field, but it's going to get foul. 1-2 count. So Taillon, so far, no hits through 2 2/3. I believe he does have a walk, though. Yeah, he walked Devers. Oh, I just got spoiled by my own thing. The thing is saying that Enrique flies out to right, and that pitch has not happened yet. I try not to look at it. That's why I'm facing this way. But here's the pitch. 95-mile-an-hour pop fly to right field. Ambergy makes a nice play, and no-hitter through 3. Lewis says TV is really bright behind your head. Yeah, have a little fire. I can turn that off. I thought it was some nice color, but it's not really showing up the way I wanted it to. You're welcome. Bill Strader says, I'll ask again, buy or sell at the trade deadline. I'm all about the sell this year. Well, it really depends on what happens over the next couple of days. I think you're still too far away. If the Yankees win tonight, they're 7 games back. I think you could get enough pieces to make a run at a wild card. And Garrett Cole can win you a wild card game. That's for sure. I'll take Garrett Cole up against anybody in a wild card game. And, road or home, doesn't matter. And then once you get past that first round, anything can happen. It's a crapshoot. So it's all about getting into the dance. You get into the dance and you get a red-hot Giancarlo Stanton and a red-hot DJ LeMahieu at the same time, and a red-hot Aaron Judge maybe, and you get 1 or 2 pitchers throwing well. Maybe you get Luis Severino's back. Maybe you get Gleyber back. A lot can happen. I think Cashman is kind of hanging in there to see what can happen over the next few days, but I would have made a move before the All-Star break. That's what I was saying. I wanted reinforcements for this series rather than waiting for this series and letting it dictate the way it goes. Easy says, it's not what you know, it's who you know. For real. Yeah, we're talking about the GM stuff. I do think that the Yankees need to reevaluate their coaching staff. Too many men thrown out on the bases this year. Marcus Timms, he's got to go. He's got to go. There's too many guys that have underperformed. Whatever philosophy they're doing, it comes from the organization, and he's teaching it. But I just think you need to reset. I think you need to take an approach with a different set of eyes. Mets in first place, 48 and 42. Here comes Ryan LaMarre. He grounds one foul down the left field line. THG says, I want Boone and Timms to go. They both do not deserve to have jobs with the Yankees. AB says, LaMarre back from the IL? Apparently. 0 for 7 this year. Bottom of the third here. Yanks lead 1-0 on a Gleyber Torres home run, in case you're just joining. Ryan LaMarre was called back up today. He looks like a ball player. The 0-2. Cut on and missed. Up in the zone. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. And LaMarre goes down swinging. Martin Kalunga says, I think it's weird Stanton has 15 homers since we're paying him all that money. I mean, if only you could buy home runs, right? But he's underperformed for sure. He's not the same guy he was in Miami. 1,000%. King John says, how many innings you do in this game? Right now, I'm planning to do the whole thing. I mean, if the Red Sox go up 20-1, I'll probably tune it off. But right now it's fun. I've got a new chair. So the reason I didn't used to do watch parties is multiple reasons. One, my chair sucked until recently. I got a new chair. Other reason was it's hard for me to watch the game because I couldn't watch it on my screen because it was using the Wi-Fi, which I was using to, connect to the. There's a base hit by Allen, who's a switch hitter, by the way. Rips on the left field for a base knock. He's been swinging the bat well. I was using the Wi-Fi to broadcast, so I couldn't use the Wi-Fi to also watch the game, or I would lose, whatever. And I couldn't drag my whole setup to watch in front of the TV. But I have another computer now. I have an iMac, and I've got that set up right here, and it runs on Wi-Fi. So I'm running the game on Wi-Fi, and then I'm wired in on a private LAN network for my broadcast. So now I can just tune on the game and sit back in my cozy chair. I got a little, I got this like desk holder for my water, so I can put my water here. And it's great. Douglas Rouse says, Allen is slowly working his way into an everyday spot. I wouldn't say slowly. I mean, he's been in there 2 days in a row. I'd say if you hit, you're going to be in the lineup right now. DJ LeMahieu steps in. We need DJ to run into one right here. We need DJ to hit one out of the park and open up this lead a little bit. Mr. Next Big Thing says, sounds like rocket science. I'm not even sure what you're referring to. But basically, I didn't like to used to do watch parties because it was hard to set up and it was uncomfortable and the stream was unreliable. Now the stream is reliable because it's wired, hardwired, and I'm comfortable. I'm in a chair. I've got a new microphone. I don't have to deal with that arm that's all over. I can move this mic stand around. I've got everything set up the way I originally wanted to have it set up. It just takes a while to get there because all this shit's expensive. And it took me a long time, but every dollar that gets donated and stuff, I put it back into the stream. And at some point, we're going to have it perfect, and then I can just sit back and let it take off. Disgruntled YouTuber says, no Garden party today. So Brett Gardner is probably not going to play against a lot of lefties right now. They want to give him some time off. He has not had a good year. It'll be a 2-0 count to DJ LeMahieu, who's 0 for 1. BB loves the new mothership. Yeah, so I've got 2 cameras set up too. I've got a webcam. That's what you're watching on right now. It gives more of a wider angle. And then I've got like a Canon that's hooked up that's for the post games. That's like more of a closer shot. The only problem with the Canon is that it shuts off after 30 minutes from streaming. So I might swap it out for a newer model Canon that has a streaming mode. BB says they don't want to start Gardner. They just had little choice. Yeah, he's been basically the last option. 3-0 pitch to LeMahieu is a strike on the outside corner. So I'm basically one pitch behind the thing that you're seeing on the screen. That's why I'm trying not to look too closely at the comments during the game. Allen looks ready to take off over there at first base. 3-1 pitch. Nicholas Garcia says, yo, Derek, why do you wear a glove? So this, on my right hand, this is called a compression glove. I have a little bit of arthritis in my hand, and I'm constantly working and constantly mousing and keying and writing and stuff. So my hand gets very sore and swollen. And so I wear this compression glove because it kind of eases the pain a little bit. What I really need, and there's a base hit to right field. Allen took off. That was a hit and run. Might have been a run and hit, but Allen gets to third base. Good old-fashioned baseball. So with one out, we have runners on first and third. Really nice piece of hitting by DJ LeMahieu. Prince Boss is DJ heating up. Need him now more than ever. But anyway, as I was mentioning, yeah, the hand is just in a lot of pain. What I really need is about 2 or 3 weeks off. And so after the season, I'm going to put up a, whatever the season finale video is, I'll put up a video and it'll say season finale, see you in 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm going to take a vacation and I'm not going to do any kind of computer work. I'm going to take time off of my actual job. Stanton swings and fouls it off. Almost caught. Ryan Kim says, I love this Allen kid. I really do. Hayden says, thoughts on Allen these last few games? Look, I love the idea of a speedy switch hitter. He makes contact. He's not up there trying to hit home runs. He's up there trying to get hits. He's exactly the type of player that the Yankees need. Now, I don't know if the league is going to figure him out. I mean, he might not be an all-star caliber player, but if he can have a couple of hot weeks, he can really inject a different element of the offense to this team. It'll be an 0-1 pitch to Giancarlo Stanton. Grounded in the hole. Throw to second. Throw to first. Stanton somehow beats it out. And the first baseman looks like he stretched too far. Allen scores. Arroyo is hurt. He's limping it off. It looked like he maybe stretched a little bit too far and might have tweaked a groin. But Allen scores. Giancarlo beats out the grounder. He was hustling down the line, guys. I haven't seen him hustle like that in a while. And he beats it out. And it's a run. Junior B says, I'm training to be an MMA fighter. I just want you to know I had spaghetti and meatballs in a bowl that would be offensive to most people right before I got on live. I promise I'm not training for... I have been going to the gym a lot lately. I work out pretty much every single day in some way or form. I either go to the gym with my wife and do weights, or I walk. I have a virtual reality. It's a Oculus Go. Or no, Oculus Quest 2. That's what it is. And I've got a couple of like boxing trainer type things that I do sometimes. And those are really fun. I've also got a game called Beat Saber. And it's like a really good cardio workout if you do it for a long time. So I love it. Nicholas Garcia says, Stanton actually ran? Yeah, it was surprising. Love it. What I need is the sound of like some wheels like screeching like they play at the stadium when there's a stolen base that oh, we got a down voter, must be a Red Sox fan. Giancarlo Stanton's mom. AB says, you're training for MMA. No, I promise I'm not. I'm training to just not die. That's my goal, is to just stay alive until I can download my consciousness onto a computer somehow. By the way, I want to point out, and I don't like to talk about this too much. I've started a Patreon where I'm posting multiple weekly videos of just vlogs. They're unedited. I just basically fire up the camera and talk for 10 minutes when I've got something on my mind. There's 3 different levels. $5 will get you a Wednesday vlog, and there's like a chat where you can chat with other people. $10 will get you a Wednesday and a Sunday vlog, and then $25 will get you a hoodie and then access to both vlogs, and then another podcast that I do on the first of the month. Doesn't exist yet, but it's going to be called Derek on Deck. It's going to be audio, but it's going to be fun, and I'm going to start writing it soon. It's going to be something that I work on for a month at a time, and then just basically read it, perform it on the first, and put it up. Christian Vasquez says, did the Yankees make Stanton injury prone? It's a good question. I think Stanton made himself injury prone by focusing on weights too much and not enough on flexibility. Josh Campos says, these streams were clutch since I can't watch on Hulu anymore. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for joining. It's 2-0 in the bottom of the third. 3-1 count to Gary Sanchez, homered last night. Martin Perez has a 3-8 record on the road. Has not been good on the road. He's got the changeup grip, but he's playing with it. He might go to the cutter here. It was a cutter, up and in. He's lost a tick on the cutter over the course of this game. Earlier in the game, almost all of his cutters were 90. Now they're all pretty much 88, 89. Douglas Rouse says, performing a monologue, you sound like a theater actor. So I've done a little acting, but I'm a writer. I'm a writer. Lori C says she's with the Patreon. She recommends it. Totally digging the content. Appreciate that, Lori.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, performing the monologue. Basically, I write the script every single recap, on the screen. You guys saw a little glimpse of it real quick. So I write it on the screen, and then I read it every night as we're firing up the recap. So I'm getting better at it. I used to not be very good at reading out loud, but I'm getting better at it. And I've gotten to the point where I can do the Martian tracker. Whenever Jason Dominguez does something, I write up a script. And it's usually like, a couple of hundred words. I write it up and I can perform it now. I've gotten good at this. I can read it off without any ums or messing up or stutters. Usually one take for the Martian trackers. I love it. I'm starting to really enjoy doing this. I hope there's a future in it for me. I don't know. I'm sure as it gets bigger, there'll be more opportunities for me. But right now, I'm happy just with the way that things are going as a side hustle. I've got a lot to do at my regular job this week, so I'm not going to have as much time to do daytime shows. Also, we've had a really good month. Manscaped just doubled their ad buy. And it doesn't mean more ads are coming. It just means that because I'm giving them so many more views than they thought, they're basically just paying me more. And so it's been a really good month for the channel. And I'm starting to think more about like what directions I want to go to build consistent content. I'm thinking people are just loving the post-game recaps, so I'm going to try and do those for East Coast games for sure. Morning Yanks I like doing, so if there's a particularly late game or a bad game or a game where I just am not feeling up to it, too drunk, whatever, I'll just hold off and do a Morning Yanks. And then I have Yankees game day, which I can do either live or pre-recorded. So BB says, thanks for doing this. Always fun with the chat. Appreciate that, BB. We're going to get with the Dono hype. That's the new Dono hype. Thank you so much. Fritz Walter says, Greg Allen, a rare combination on the Yankees island. He's fast and he can hit. Don't forget that he can also hit left-handed. He's a switch hitter. I love switch hitters. There's not enough of them in the game. And I get it. It's very difficult to switch hit, especially in today's game with everybody throwing 100. You got to start early. Mickey Mantle started switch hitting when he was like 10 years old or whatever. Prince Boss says, as much as he likes Taillon, he doubts they'll re-sign him. I think that he has another year of control. Can you guys hear the game in the background? I've got the volume on just a very low level, but I have never done this with this microphone, so I wasn't sure how much of it you guys are picking up. Richard says, kudos for working a day job and producing Unreal content. Well, the whole key of it is that I work from home. And so I've been very religious about it. I devote a few hours in the morning, every single morning, to baseball. And it might not always be building an actual video. Sometimes it's working on reels, like putting highlights together. Sometimes it's just adding like a new, like I have those reels where I show like the stats and the player picture, like you've seen it for Aaron Judge and all those guys. I did a new one of those for pretty much everybody this week. This one is drilled to right field, but right at Trey Amberge, who makes the catch. 47 pitches, still a big goose egg in the hit column for the Red Sox. Guys, what if he does it? What if he doesn't? I'm going to have to do a live watch party every single game because, like, that would be 2 no-nos. Ryan says he has the game on mute and me in the background. I appreciate that. That's kind of the best experience, I think, for a watch party is to listen to something that you enjoy. I generally, when I'm watching a game, sometimes I'll listen to the announcers. If it's David Cohn, Paul O'Neill, and Michael Kay, I'm all in for the announcers. If Ken Singleton is in the booth, I'm all in for the announcers. As nice play by Chris Gittens going into foul territory on a pop-up. 2 away. Nice job for Chris Gittens. He's a good defensive first baseman. But, yeah, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, I was talking about announcers. So if it's Singleton or if it's the traditional 3 yes crew, I always watch with the sound on. If John Flaherty's in the booth, I typically put on like a podcast or whatever. But I always love the Ryan Ruocco home run calls. It's a shame that they generally work together in the booth. I think Ryan Ruocco is the future of broadcasting for the Yankees. As this one is ripped down the third base line, and there goes the no-hitter. People are blaming me as a jinx. Hey, it is what it is. I said the word no-hitter during Corey Kluber's no-hitter 100 times, and that didn't jinx it, so I don't think it's a real jinx. But yes, send your hate. Send your hate. AB says you jinxed it. It is what it is. Two outs, 2-0 Yankees here in the top of the 4th. Devers steps in, takes a fastball off the outer part of the plate. So yeah, when Ruocco and Flaherty are announcing, I typically put on like an audio book or a podcast. I like listening to the Joe Rogan podcast during a baseball game because it's like 3 hours long. So you can watch the game and get through a whole podcast at the same time. Throw behind the runner at second. Great throw by Sanchez, but runner gets back in there. Prince says Ryan is a fun announcer. Nicholas says, would you rather have a no-hitter or a win? Well, typically if you get a no-hitter, you get both, although Andy Hawkins would disagree. I'll say this about the ESPN broadcast. The cameras are not great. They look a little bit fuzzy to me. Devers very animated, sticking his tongue out, kind of like talking to himself a lot, taking deep breaths. The man is up there every at bat, like, and it's a war for him. It's 3-0 to Rafael Devers. Takes it outside off the plate. So runners on first and second now with 2 outs as Taillon showing signs of fatigue already. Takes off his cap. He glances at his scouting report kept in his hat. Good thing about having such a big head is you could fit a bigger scouting report in the hat. BB says, same camera crew that the Yankees use. You would think so, but to me, it just looks blurry. I think it's the feed. There's something about maybe the way that ESPN feeds it. The colors are a little bit different. It's just the mixing. I can't put my finger on exactly how. It just doesn't look as good to me. Have you guys ever watched a game in 4K? There is a 4K channel on DirecTV that sometimes has baseball games, and I signed up for it because it's like $5 a month, and it's worth it just once in a while to catch something in 4K. Taillon misses high out of the zone. Seems to be fighting it a little bit this inning. He needs an out right here. This is a point where if you make a mistake, it could be a 3-run mistake. So you've got to get control of it right here. Hunter Renfroe 0 for his last 15 with runners in scoring position. Looks to be a beautiful night in the Bronx. Eileen says, hi. Hello.
Hello.
Richard says, Taillon has always struggled with endurance, right? I wouldn't say always, but this year he's run out of gas in the 4th and 5th a number of times. Only the last couple of times has he been pretty good late into the game. Lori C says he could fit the entire binder in his hat. Love it. Douglas Rouse says Barry Bonds had an entire encyclopedia under his hat. He could have had like an entire volume of encyclopedias under that melon. It'll be a 2-1 count to Renfroe from Taillon. 57 pitches through 3 2/3. Should not be tired, but it is apparently a muggy evening. Hangs a breaking ball. I got to admit, he's showing signs of fatigue. The fastball up out of the zone, the walk, the hit, and now hanging a breaking ball. He's lost the feel for it a little bit. He's either lost the feel, the touch, he's got a mechanical thing going on right now, or he's just getting a little tired. But right now he's having some issues. Martine says, who do you know that's available at the deadline that the Yankees could go after? I would say anybody who's on a losing team right now is fair game. Anybody who's out of contention for a playoff spot is fair game. I got to think the Pirates would be willing to make some deals. But you have to know that Cashman has made the calls. If it was an easy move to make, he would have made it by now. This one by Renfroe is popped up. And Rougned Odor makes the call and the catch to end the threat. And he gets through it. THG says his mom got her first shout out. Which one is your mom? I'll definitely give her a personal shout out. No Identity says Yankees fans should be embarrassed. Would you care to elaborate? Richard says, get lasagna warmed up. Johnny Lasagna. I think we'll see Johnny L at some point soon. I don't know if he's been activated yet. He got cleared to return to the Yankees, but I didn't see anything from the PR department about him being activated. So it won't be long before he's in there. Oh, THG says his mom is Eileen G. Well, I appreciate that. Your son does a great job. Disgruntled says lasagna is spoiled and not available. Yeah, I just checked the Yankees PR. I didn't see anything about him being activated. So, as far as I know, he is not available to pitch. Hayden says, who do you think we trade for before the deadline? I still think Ben Gamel is a possibility. He's kind of my off-the-radar pick that nobody's talking about. He doesn't cost much. He's a left-handed hitter. He can play the outfield. He's got a little bit of power. He's played as a Yankee before, so the Yankees organization knows him well. Unless he was some kind of a clubhouse problem, which I don't think he had time to be. I think Ben Gamel would be a nice pickup. He's already been traded once this year. I think he started in Cleveland, ended up in Pittsburgh. And he's healthy. He'd have to cut his locks, though. I'm sure he wouldn't be happy about that. Bill says, speaking of Johnny Lasagna, he's been balling all year. 100% Johnny Lasagna.
I wholeheartedly agree.
It just occurred to me that I should create the Johnny Lasagna sound effect rather than just say it every time. I should have one that like echoes into infinity or something. It would be amazing. Martin says, watch any good movies lately? So yes, I talked about it yesterday on the recap a little bit. I went and saw at Alamo Drafthouse a movie called Roadrunner, an Anthony Bourdain film. And it was a documentary about his life. And it was incredible. Absolutely incredible. there's so much footage on him and so many voiceovers and so many off the scene or behind the scenes type things that he narrated basically the whole movie. It was amazing. Gleyber takes 3-0. He was taking all the way. That was an interesting approach. He must have had the take sign, which is weird. He just kind of stood there. Like, what if you get a good pitch on 2-0? That was interesting. I'd like to hear more about that from Gleyber. Was he taking all the way? Franchise J says he watched American Gangster today, arguably Denzel's best movie. Fantastic movie. As Gleyber draws the walk. Again, I'm a little bit behind the on-screen stuff, so I'm trying not to spoil it. But yeah, American Gangster was fantastic. The other night I watched, actually 2 nights in a row, we watched Sicario and then Sicario 2. And Sicario 2 I thought was better than Sicario 1. Bill Strader says, la 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 lasagna. I love it. It's great. Eileen loves the merch, uses the coffee mug all the time. Me too. I've got them right here. This is the NYY Recaps coffee mug. I got some stuff sticking out of it. I use that for all my, that was my lighter. Gittins rips it to right field, but it's going to hang up there. I want to see the exit velocity on that. That was ripped. Gittins hit it hard. I would love to see Gittins go deep into the night one of these nights here. Henry Chiansky says Denzel was badass in Training Day. You a wolf or you a sheep? Yeah, I love that movie, man. Love Training Day. It's one of my all-time favorites. Lori C says Denzel is a fine-looking man. I have a staunch record of unblemished heterosexuality, and I agree 100%. Good-looking man. Trey Ambergy steps in, takes a cutter in off the plate. Richard says, watch Wind River, same writer and director as Sicario, one of my favorite movies. I'll give it a shot. Let me write it on my pad. I got a pad right here for recommendations. Wind River. Is that the one that has... It's got, like, I want to say Bradley Cooper in it, maybe? Exit velo was 108 on that line drive from Chris Gittins. Shout out to you, disgruntled YouTuber, for... Alex wants that first hit from Trey. I agree. I would love to see Trey rip one in the corner right now, or rip one in the gap. How nice would it be for him to split the outfielders? He went 0 for 2 in his Major League debut. He's a 13th round draft pick. Went to St. Petersburg College in Florida and looks like Vanilla Ice. Ding, 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 ding. Chet Perry says Denzel's best, as this one is grounded to short. To second for one, on to first. Double play, and Ambergy pulled his hamstring. Ambergy just clutched his hamstring, and he's limping. He's done for the night. Oh, God. Does it ever end? Does it ever end? He grabbed immediately behind his hamstring. Oh, that is not good. You have got to be kidding me. Well, I guess we're going to get to see Hoy Jun Park. Either that or Brett Gardner. I think they'll probably put Brett Gardner in the game. FFS, I get it. Yeah, people are unhappy. Brandon says, team is made of glass. Somebody check Patrick, make sure he's not on suicide watch. I'm going to check on Patrick right now. Let's see if we can get Patrick live on the show. Patrick, let me know if you want to go live over audio on the show. Trey Ambergy just got hurt. We're checking on whether or not you should be on suicide watch right now. We'll see if we hear from Pat. Trevor Fisher says, oh God, and not the good way. So another hamstring injury is what it looked like. Douglas Rouse says, has this team heard of stretching? And son of a chicken biscuit. We got some good reactions here. I don't know who we're going to see. My guess is we'll see out there in right field either Brett Gardner or Hoy Jun Park. I would love to see Hoy Jun Park. I want to see what he can do. John N says, tying the knot. Lori C says, snake, but the curse of Brett Gardner. It's like the universe is conspiring to put Brett Gardner in the game. So we got Patrick here. I'm going to get him on. Patrick, say hi to my audience.
What's going on live? How are we doing?
I'm hoping that we can hear you, but are you on suicide watch over there with Ambergy?
I'm going to be honest with you. I was currently on my computer, right? I look and I see Trey Ambergy's at bat. I'm like, oh, let me run downstairs and kind of like watch the at bat. Okay. Grounds into a double play, a little bit depressed after that. And then he starts reaching for his hamstring, Derek. I want to punch a hole through my wall multiple times to the point where like my hand is like just pure drywall.
You're just gonna have like a bloody stump on the end of your arm. That was the first thing we said was like. And by the way, the chat is saying hello, Patrick. We got everybody saying hello, Patrick. Lori C saying hello. Bill saying hello. Benjamin saying hello.
I love you all, chat.
I can't bring you on video because I canceled my my interview thing for the time being. I'm switching over to live to StreamYard for live streams. I just don't have it all set up yet, but we wanted to make sure that you're okay. So we're just checking in on you.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
I want you to be alive.
In this game right now, like I kind of want to cry, like real tears, not even like fake ones. Like I know Brett Gardner's like one of the greatest Yankees of all time. I get it, but like, bro, Trey Ambergy. Oh man, Derek, what are we gonna do?
Patrick. Yeah, we did they put Gardner in the? Yeah, Gardner has gone into center, Allen into left, and LaMarre into right. What is Hoy Jun Park like allergic to baseball right now? Like what's the deal? Why are they not putting him in?
I think they just despise him, like with a brutal passion. I don't know what it is. It takes so much for them to like actually put these guys in the lineup. And the crazy part is we're not even advocating for them to be called up anymore, right? Because like they're up. We're just advocating for them to get some at bats, and they're not. It's sickening.
So I think the audience is having a little tough time hearing you because they're saying hold it closer. So I'm gonna let you go, but appreciate you hopping on, man. Hang in there, buddy.
I love you. Have a great time. Bye.
Patrick Hennessy, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you could hear some of that. He is not happy as Taillon gets the first out on a high four-seam fastball, 95 mile an hour, up in the zone. A lot of love in the chat for Patrick. Let's hear it for Patrick. We're going to break out the old-fashioned air horn. We're going to just I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to repurpose the air horn because I like the air horn. But I don't want to overuse the air horn. So we're, the dono hype will be the coin sound, and then air horn will be for like special moments. Douglas Rao with saying Pat made him laugh. Pat is a funny guy. Lucas says this team reminds him of 2013, all the injuries, but none of the energy. And you guys, we're winning right now. Our pitcher's throwing a one-hitter. But the mood has obviously been dampened by the injury to Ambergy. Good slider from Jameson Taillon there, down and away. Easy says, do you think it's a sleep thing? How many of these baseball players get a consistent 8 hours sleep? I don't know. It could be a diet thing too. Like I've read a little bit about how muscle pulls can be avoided by going vegan, and there's a documentary on Netflix about that. I've considered going vegan at times. I just don't like vegan food, and so that's been an obstacle. An obstacle. But yeah. One thing I don't like about vegan is that like you're like when you're around vegans, they have to find a way to work it into the conversation. Like you could be talking about like your favorite basketball team, and you'd be like, you know, I love basketball. My team is doing so good. We've got a really good point guard this year. This one is hit well to right field. Oh, and oh my goodness. LaMarre slams into the wall. He's hurt. He's down. He's slow to get up. It's a double. Anyway, I was saying that vegans always figure out a way to work it into the conversation that they're vegan. But that joke seems out of place now. Aaron Boone walking out to right field. Brett Gardner is talking to LaMarre. LaMarre's kind of wincing and walking. It looked like he came down hard on that foot. John N. says, Asian lives matter, bring in Park. This is absolutely unbelievable. I'll tell you what. The universe is against the Yankees right now. Prince Boss says, oh, jeez. Unhinged says he feels nothing but pain. And so do the Yankees. Nothing but pain. And Benji says, where is Florial? It's a good point. Florial is a top prospect. When are you going to give him a shot? How many guys you need to run out there? It's clear the chat wants Park. Okay, so we're getting a look at the knee. He's pulled up his pants. He's got the knee showing. It looks like he's skinned his knee a little bit. The question is whether or not he can put pressure on it. He's doing lunges out there. He seems to be nodding that he's okay, that he's able to do a lunge. They're telling him to run a quick sprint or to do a little jog, do a light jog. Seems like he's doing okay. Aaron Boone just said, are you okay? And gave a thumbs up. And Hoy Park is looking out there like, do I need to go in the game? What's going on here, guys? Looks like he's going to stay out there in right field. Let's give a round of applause to LaMarre for the effort. Luke says the universe wants Park in. The universe might be trying to align things so that Park can go in the game. Let's stop standing in the universe's way. I'll tell you what, LaMarre looks like a grown-up version of that guy from Karate Kid, Ralph Macchia. Pat Soggy Chicken says we might have to call up Jason Dominguez at 18 with the amount of injuries that we've got. I'd be surprised if we see him anytime soon. We definitely won't see him this year. He's doing a really nice job, though. Aryav says, name all the outfielders that got injured this season for the Yankees. So Clint Frazier's out with like vision issues. Miguel Andujar is out with a wrist issue. Aaron Judge has COVID. And now LaCastro with the knee injury, and LaMarre stumbling around. Hopefully he's okay. And then there's Ambergy with the hamstring tonight. So it's a lot of injuries. Lori C says it would be easier to list who isn't hurt. I'll say this for Brett Gardner. The man is indestructible. It'll be an 0-2 pitch to Dahlbeck. Fouled away. 95 up in the zone. Here's a good one. Jack Wagner says, where's Bubba Crosby when you need one? Need him. We haven't seen him since the Yankees signed Johnny Damon, I think. Ryan Mary says, keep this up and Giancarlo will be playing right field by the 7th inning. I think you would need at least like 5 or 6 more injuries before Giancarlo ends up in the outfield. Because I think they would use a backup pitcher before they would use Giancarlo. I think next up is Park. The way he was sitting on the bench looking like, hey, am I going in the game? I feel like he's next. And then you probably use Tyler Wade. It'll be a 1-2 pitch. This one is popped to right field. Gittins, LaMarre, everyone almost collides. Throw to third, and runner will get into third. So everyone convened in right field. I'm not a play-by-play guy, so forgive me for being more in watch mode. But all three players, Gittins, Odor, and LaMarre, were converging. It ended up being, I think, Gittins that made the catch. He pulled it out right in front of LaMarre. Odor tried to catch him, but it was like trying to wrap your arms around a moving train. He just got dragged along. It was like Jaws pulling those yellow kegs, baby. That was almost very ugly, says THG. 100%.
Yes, I agree.
This one hit well to left field. Greg Allen makes the catch, and we are through 4.5. Yankees lead this one 2-0. Going to go to a quick commercial. Hopefully.
My kind of team, Charlie. It's my kind of team.
How's it going, everybody? We're back. The game is not quite back, but I'm back. Yeah, that got pretty ugly there. I was afraid there was going to be a massive collision. Oh, also, I forgot to mention Aaron Hicks as part of the injury list. There's been so many guys injured. Aaron Hicks, of course, out for the season, having surgery. Lori C makes a good point. These kids are killing themselves making an all-out effort, tearing ACLs and everything, and meanwhile, the $325 million man unable to take the field, although there are rumors around the campfire that he might be in there next weekend. It'll be an 0-1 to Rougned Odor, and he lays down a drag bunt to first base, and he's going to beat it out. Look at that. A little small ball. Little small ball in here. Love it. So it's a base hit for Rougned Odor, and the Yankees have something going here, leadoff man. That looked like an inside changeup, possibly. and he just squared around, dragged it right down the first baseline, and he does have a little bit of speed, so he was able to beat it out. Nice job. Douglas Rouse says, put Justin Wilson in right field before Stanton. Make him earn a living. Yeah, he's a pretty expensive batting practice pitcher. Laura Volpe says, crowd is pumped. Good game so far. Let's hear it for Laura Volpe, part of the crowd out there tonight. Laura Volpe, how was the crowd reacting? I bet it was dead silent when Ambergy got hurt. It looked like it was. Stephen D8 says, will Odor return next season? I hope not. Oh, I hope not. I get he got a big hit right here, but he's not what you need. This one is hit right through the right side by LaMarre, and Odor goes to third, and the ball gets away. He's safe. He would have been out if it was a good throw. LaMarre takes second, so we have second and third, nobody out. So another hit and run. And so the Yankees playing a little bit of small ball. I love it. So he just hit it right through the open side of the field. And this is what I've been saying. You've got to find a way to move runners and make things happen. A lot of people think small ball is just bunts, but small ball is hit and runs. It's using the open part of the field. It's taking the extra base. Those are all small ball. Aryav says, LaMarre got to hit you guys. Bill is 100% right. Odor would have been nailed by a decent throw. Throw was offline a little bit, and it took a wicked hop. Yanks have made the most outs on the bases. How do you guys feel about those pinstriped Yankees jerseys that have the names on the back? I don't like that. I prefer the just the number. I mean, look, I'm all for individual personality. I think the beard thing needs to go away, but I've never liked the idea of having names on the back of Yankees jerseys. I don't mind them on the blue t-shirts, like the Tanaka shirts or whatever I have that I wear sometimes, but I also have a Mattingly one. But when it comes to the jersey, I would never buy one that has the name on the back. Spade says, Yanks are 20 for 25 in stolen base attempts this year. That is pretty good for a slow team. They should attempt more, but they don't. Their philosophy is to get guys on base and try and hit the ball out of the ballpark. That's their whole philosophy. Jack Wagner's in agreement. He says, not the real jersey. THG says same thing. Felipe doesn't like the names. I'm with you guys. Christian Vasquez says, what do you think of Taillon so far today? This is his third straight really good outing. His third straight really good performance. I'm liking it. To me, he's had better command of the slider, and he's throwing the breaking ball for strikes. He's elevating that four-seam fastball. He's always needed that third pitch, but the slider tonight has been that pitch. Martin says, have you seen Jurassic Park? Amazing movie. It's one of my top 5 all-time favorite movies, probably. I've probably seen that movie 100 times since 1993 when it came out. I didn't see it in the theater, though. One of my regrets. It was weird. I must have had my head under a rock that summer because I never even remember hearing about it when I was 10 years old as being in the theater. We didn't go to the movies a lot when I was a kid. I always liked to. I would go with my brother. But we didn't go as a family a lot, and so I didn't get to see Jurassic Park on the big screen, but I did see it on VHS. We went and got VHS tapes a lot, and I owned a copy of it for many years on VHS, and now I have it on Blu-ray and digital, And I watch it probably once a year. I love it. Here comes Whitlock, former Yankee, has a 1.44 ERA in 43 and 2/3 innings, 47 strikeouts, an excellent 1.10 whip. And Allen steps in, takes a changeup away, 84 miles an hour. Yankees 7 games back in the AL East, trying to pick up a game, which would be impressive with their cast of characters. It would say a little bit for their depth. They're talking about Aaron Boone commenting on the leadership, and apparently Brett Gardner's somebody who's a leader. Could explain why he's still there. Taco Nacho says Yankees may have to consider claiming Billy McKinney. You know, I've always liked Billy McKinney since they got rid of him. He's one of those guys who got moved and turned into a pretty useful player. Never been a big offensive guy, but he can play defense. He's a left-hander. He'll run into big hits now and then. Martin Kalunga says Greg Allen has been super fun to watch. 100%. Lori C says Chapman's available tonight. Let's hope not. Stay your ass on the bench, Chapman. Don't ruin a good night. Don't crash my party. Let's hope the Yankees can get 7 or 8 runs. A lot of people loving Greg Allen here. Let's see what he can do. Count is 2-2. Allen does look focused. He gives me Kenny Lofton vibes. Fouls this one down the left field line. Sliced into the corner. Just foul. Douglas says the CGI on Jurassic Park holds up even today. And there's a lot of traditional effects, not just CGI. Like a lot of those dinosaurs were, full-size puppets, essentially. Animatronic. Allen takes it upstairs, 2-2. Douglas Rouse says, Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom was terrible. Yeah, I agree. I didn't like that movie at all. Although the new one, Jurassic World Dominion, looks like it could be pretty good. Allen fouls this one off. Allen seems like a tough at bat from both sides of the plate. I'm loving watching him. This guy throws a 99-mile-an-hour two-seamer. Why did the Yankees not take him or keep him or protect him? You let the Red Sox get him? It'll be a 3-2 pitch to Allen. Swung on and hit well to center field. Not deep. This should be deep enough. Duran makes the catch. Throw's going to go to third, so a run will score. And the Yankees take a 3-0 lead. Yankees go up 3-0. That's small ball, baby. You get a leadoff bunt, a hit and run, and a sac fly. Where has that been all season? Where has that been, Aaron Boone? How come you guys making $20 million a year can't do that? More athletes. More guys like Allen. Bill Strader says Dark on Netflix was amazing. I've never heard of it. I'm going to have to check that out. I'd say my favorite all-time TV shows were, just to give you guys an idea of the type of stuff that I watch, this might help with recommendations. Breaking Bad, all-time favorite. Obviously, I love Seinfeld, 30 Rock, X-Files. I'm a big fan of True Detective. I love the True Detective series, although the first season was the best. Season 2 wasn't very good. Season 3 was pretty good. I love the Fargo show. The first season of Fargo was amazing. Second season, not quite as good. DJ fouls it off, 98 miles an hour. How do you let this arm go? This is malpractice. Just watching this guy pitch. That the Yankees wouldn't protect a guy who throws 99 with that kind of movement. Are you kidding me? Horrendous. Martin says, have you seen the Indiana Jones movies? Are you excited for the 5th one? So I've seen the first 2 Indiana Jones movies, but I haven't watched them all. I haven't seen the Crystal Skulls one. But I do want to watch the new one, so I'll probably watch that one. Mr. Niff says Ozark. Yes, I love Ozark. The last season of Ozark got really, really dark. That was really, really good. Christian says you should watch Mindhunter. Yeah, I loved Mindhunter. They actually canceled Mindhunter, but that was another favorite of mine. I love those dark dramas. 98-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner strikes out LeMahieu. Man, this guy Whitlock can pitch. He can pitch. Smiggle says, do you watch Better Call Saul? Yeah, I love Better Call Saul. I can't wait for the final season of that. Douglas says he hasn't seen a movie since the COVID mess started. I haven't seen many. So there's an Alamo Drafthouse near our place, and if you're unfamiliar with Alamo Drafthouse, it's basically a movie theater that has reclining leather seats. It's also got food, like you can order like pizza or burgers or beer, whatever. And they have like old classic movies. They'll show like old time movies. I'm going to see Jaws there in a couple weeks. And then they also have the new movies. And I had a Draft House season pass where I got 2 seats per day. So a couple times a week, I would go to the movies with a friend. I would just, grab, or my wife, I would just grab somebody who wanted to go see a movie, and I would go see something I wanted to see. And they got a free movie out of it. And I would say, hey, I got the ticket, maybe buy me a drink. I'd get a free drink out of it. It works out for everybody. And it was just great. But then when COVID happened, they shut down that part of the package as Stanton hits a broken bat ground out to shortstop and gets thrown out by 15 miles. So they shut down the Draft House season pass. I'm hoping they restart it soon, but there's more movies coming out pretty soon. Bill says, Dark is incredibly smart. I love a good smart show. Lori C says, let Whitlock go and keep crappy Krisky. Yeah, I can't fathom how that happened. Smokey McBongwater says, Twin Peaks is very good. I've been wanting to try Twin Peaks. I might go with that. A friend of mine really likes Twin Peaks and said it was good. Bill says a buddy of his helps run that Alamo Theater in Raleigh. So I've probably met him. I mean, Alamo Drafthouse was like my Cheers, right? I would go there a couple of times a week with a buddy or my wife and get dinner and a drink, and it was awesome. And I'm hoping that they bring it back so that's how I can handle my winter. And that's how my other channel, STREAMSKI, got started, as I was go to the movies, and then I would do a podcast about it. When I got home, I would take notes at the movie, bring and write notes. And then baseball kind of took over for that. So, I stopped doing that as much. But I do want to bring that back, at least like weekly movie reviews or something. Eric C. says the last movie he watched in the theater was called Stalin is Dead. Never heard of that one. Luke WS says, do you watch the Marvel movies? I love the Marvel movies. I just saw the trailer for the Eternals coming out next year, or later this year. That looks fantastic. Avengers Endgame, I saw 3 or 4 times in the theater, and that's a 3-hour-long movie. So that's a lot of time committed to the theater. I would go, and I went by myself a couple of times. I took 2 friends, and then I went and saw it in 3D by myself. I had a day off. My company there's one of those random holidays where nobody else gets it off, like Columbus Day or something. And so I went and watched a movie by myself that day in 3D, and it was amazing. It was I hadn't seen a movie in 3D in forever, and it looked great. Hayden says you should watch HBO's The Night Of. Epic. Yes, that is a great, great series about this guy who's on trial for murder, and it's a very slow burn. But John Turturro, big Yankees fan, guy whose name I couldn't remember a couple weeks ago, was in that. Did a fantastic job. Top of the sixth, Jameson Taillon still out there on the mound. 78th pitch of the day is a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, fouled away. Taco Nacho says, Green is warming up, Chad Green. Ashlyn says, Endgame was the best one.
Yes, I agree.
Love that movie. I see some people talking about Narcos. I have not seen Narcos. I've had a lot of people tell me I need to watch Narcos, and I haven't watched it yet. Smokey McBongwater. Whoops. Aaron Brockovich, Zalman. I have seen Aaron Brockovich. Didn't love it. My wife loves that movie. Smokey McBongwater says Good Time and Uncut Gems were two great films by the Safety brothers. Have not seen Good Time, but I loved Uncut Gems. That movie stressed me out. Adam Sandler. A lot of bad decisions in that film. Here comes the bearded one, Verdugo. It's a 2-2 count. Changeup gets him. 88-mile-an-hour changeup down and away. Really nice pitch for Jameson Taillon. Just his third strikeout of the night. He's been very efficient tonight. 81 pitches. He looks cool as a cucumber. He's not sweating. It's funny. He doesn't really sweat that much during the game, but Aroldis Chapman, just running out to the mound, sweats more than any human being I've ever seen. Martin says, have you seen the Rush Hour movies? I saw the first one. I didn't like it. I'm not much of a martial arts guy. I did like Kill Bill, but other than that, I'm not much of a martial arts guy. I liked some of the ones with Jean-Claude Van Damme, like Time Cop was really good. Ashlyn is suggesting The Mentalist. I've heard of The Mentalist, but I don't really know much about it. I might have to add that one to the list too. So Wind River and The Mentalist. Sounds good. Christian Vasquez says you should check out Them, a show kind of like the movies Us and Get Out. Yeah, I love the Jordan Peele movies. This one is hit well to right field. It's going to dunk in there for a base hit in front of LaMarre. LaMarre wincing a little bit. Maybe that leg bothering him as he makes the play on the hop. Base hit for Martinez. J.D. Martinez can flat out hit. Andrew says, Chapman sweating in a negative 30-degree Fahrenheit room, still sweats like he's out in 100-degree weather. You're not wrong, buddy. Steven says, have you seen Cobra Kai? No, I have not seen Cobra Kai.
Nope.
Hell or High Water, written by the same guy who did Wind River. Yeah, I love Hell or High Water. Chris Pine, and I forget the other guy's name, but that was a really well-acted movie. One out here in the top of the sixth. Bogart steps in. He picked up a double earlier this game. 319 on the year, 15 homers. 85 pitches for Taillon. We need a double play right here. 0-1 is the count. It's like a slider in the dirt. Mustache says, have you ever seen Reservoir Dogs? Yeah, that's an all-time favorite too. I've seen all of Quentin Tarantino's movies. Only one I didn't really like was The Hateful Eight. BB says, Fury, great tank movie. Yes, with Brad Pitt. Fantastic movie. Very realistic war footage. I just watched 1917, another really good one. That movie was all one shot. THG says, do you like the Fast and the Furious franchise? No, I don't really like those. I'm not a car guy. I prefer a safe ride. I drive a Nissan Rogue, 2021 Nissan Rogue. It's a very safe car. Hayden says, have you seen No Country for Old Men? Masterclass. What's the most you've ever lost in a coin toss? What a great, great, great movie that was. I think that was a Coen Brothers movie, right? Martin says, Back to the Future movies. Yeah, those are also some of my favorites. Every year on New Year's, my wife and I go to Alamo Draft House and we watch Back to the Future with some friends. And they have like a karaoke with the, what's it called? Like the fish under the sea dance, or whatever it's called. Ryan Samari says, check out Snowpiercer. I'll add that one. I've heard that name a couple of times too. People have said that. Jack Smith says Parasite. Loved Parasite. Love it. David, we talked about Sicario earlier. Great movie. I watched that for the first time last week. It was after one of my recaps last week. Might have been Saturday. A great movie. Just watched Minari, another great one. Jack Wagner, Enchantment Under the Sea. Yes, Enchantment Under the Sea. That's what it's called. Eric says, what's your favorite Quentin Tarantino movie? It's got to be Pulp Fiction. I mean, Pulp Fiction to me was the perfect crime movie. It was 3 stories mixed together. I remember my mom didn't like it when she saw it, and she said, well, I didn't get it. The main character was dead halfway through, and then he was alive again. And I love that it was out of chronological order. I love it. Hayden says, I would like Buffalo 66. I'll check that one out. I'm a big fan of the movie Swingers with Jon Favreau. This one's hit towards right field in the gap. That's probably going to get a run in. LaMarre comes up with it. Martinez going to have to stop at third. The relay is made. Nice relay. Nice job by LaMarre to get that in. And that will bring the tying run to the plate. 91 pitches for Jameson Taillon. I would definitely consider getting him out of the game. Green in the bullpen, I think this is a good time. That wasn't a bad pitch. It was fastball away, and Taillon is done for the night. So we're going to go with Green. David says, what's your favorite movie genre? I like a good drama that has a little bit of violence in it. Like, to me, I love Django Unchained. I love Jaws, Pulp Fiction, The Matrix. Kind of a darker movie, but with a little bit of like violence. Like, I love the Sicario movies I just saw. Those were fantastic. The Departed, really good. Douglas wants me to rank my Batmans. That's easy. Number 1, Michael Keaton. Number 2, Christian Bale. And then he says Kevin Conroy. Good voice, but my pick for number 3 is Ben Affleck. I love Ben Affleck. I loved him as Batman. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was better as Bruce Wayne than he was as Batman. He was a very good Bruce Wayne. THG says Schindler's List. Yeah, that was a good movie. It's long, too. Very long. Bill says Old Boy. Old Korean is an all-time classic. Yeah, I've never heard of it. I'll have to check that out. Hayden says, have you ever seen the movie Rounders? Yeah, I used to work for a poker company, and I've seen Rounders many, many times. John Wick. Yeah, Christian Vasquez says John Wick. The John Wick movies were fantastic. Favorite Joker has to be Heath Ledger. I thought he was outstanding. FKMRG says the Underworld movies. That could be interesting, but I typically don't get into like the creature type movies, like the vampires and the werewolves and all that stuff. I like my movies to be somewhat based in reality. Although I don't mind them if they're classics, like Lost Boys was outstanding. Dusk Till Dawn was outstanding. I've seen a couple people mention Breakout Kings here. I've never heard of it. I'll have to check that out. Martin says, do I like the James Bond franchise? Honestly, I've only seen like a couple of them. I prefer the ones with Pierce Brosnan, the late 90s ones. Alexander Lee says favorite Spider-Man. I'd have to say the newer ones. I forget the name of the kid who plays it. Tom Holland, maybe? I think he's fantastic. Swainer with the dono. Who do you think the Yankees center fielder is come September? First of all, dono hype. If I'm being realistic, Brett Gardner. I would love to see him go out and get somebody, but apparently Brian Cashman's having difficulty with that. If they get anybody, I would think it would be somebody on the lower end, kind of like Ben Gamel. Yeah, BB says, this is why STREAMSKI has to expand. Yeah, I would love to do more STREAMSKI stuff. It's definitely on my list for the winter, is building out STREAMSKI. It's at like 700 and something subscribers. I need to get over 1,000 so that I can turn it into a stream monetization. And then I'll be able to invest more time in it. But right now I'm still in building mode for this channel. Martin says, are you excited to see Robert Pattinson as Batman as the 0-2 pitch from Green is outside? Yeah, I think Robert Pattinson is fantastic. He's been great in everything I've seen him in. I haven't watched the Twilight stuff, so I can't comment on that. But I've seen him in a couple other movies. I forget the most recent movie I watched him in. Oh, Tenet. He was good in Tenet. 1-2 pitch. Did he go? He went. Devers goes around, and he's not happy about the call. Strikeout from Chad Green. So there are now 2 outs and 2 runners on. Rebel Blackstock says Marvel or DC? And this is an interesting question, and I talk about this with my friends all the time. Oh, and Devers is going at it with the umpire, and Cora rushes out to get him. I like the DC cartoons better. They make some great cartoons, especially the darker ones. Like there was this Batman cartoon where he was fighting Jack the Ripper, like in the 1800s, and it was amazing. I think it was called Gotham by Gaslight, and it was amazing. And then there's one where it's like Reign of the Superman, and it's like it's just amazing. Their cartoons are fantastic, but the actual movies, I think Marvel's done a better job building it out to where you fall more in love with the characters because they've had their own movies. Sal with the super chat says Reynolds or Winker would be perfect in the outfield. I felt weird because I've always liked Winker, but I always call him Winkler, and I called him Winkler in one of my videos, and it sticks with me. And sometimes as a content creator, you make mistakes. I mean, I don't have anybody editing my work. I have to do everything myself. There's been a number of times that I've had mistakes, and one of them that bites me is I called Winker Winkler, and for some reason that sticks with me. Spade says King Kong versus Godzilla. I actually didn't like that one that much. I thought it was visually stunning. I mean, I'm all for the movies that have lots of whiz bang, but I just didn't love it. I didn't love it. It was too complicated. Joseph Bernal says Superbad is a great movie. Here's the thing. Like 8% of kids have it. I would sit around and draw pictures of dicks. That's a great movie. David says, are you a big physical media guy? Yeah, so you might not really be able to see it, but in the background, like above my head, all these different colored shapes that you're seeing, these are all Blu-rays. I've got probably 700-800 Blu-rays right now, and in the other room, I've got another few hundred DVDs. Big fan of physical media. Although the last physical media I bought Jaws in 4K last year. Jaws, my all-time favorite movie. And I swore that would be the last physical media I bought. But then I saw a double feature of Face Off and Snake Eyes with Nick Cage for like $3 at Big Lots, and I had to buy it. Not So Family Fun Vision says, ever watch Batman in '89? Yeah, I saw that. It was one of the first movies I ever saw at the movie theater. All-time favorite. I've seen that movie 100 million times. It'll be a 1-2 pitch from Green to Renfroe as he tries to work out of trouble here in the top of the 6th. Chad Green looking focused. Ground ball to third. LeMahieu makes the play, fires to first, and he gets him. And Chad Green gets out of it. Let's hear it for Chad Green. Hashtag Green Day. Spades is the only person who likes Battleship. Sorry, buddy. I know you're a regular. I hated that movie. I saw it. I absolutely couldn't stand that movie. I was waiting for it to be over. A few others, Martin likes it too. I don't know what the appeal was. To me, it just kept going on and on and on. THG says, what was the first movie you ever saw? I honestly don't remember. It might have been, like, first movie in the theater, I think, was like a Karate Kid movie, maybe Karate Kid 3. First movie I ever remember really liking was Jaws and Field of Dreams. Those were my first two, and so those have been with me the longest. Major League. Hashtag Green Day. I need to get a little Green Day thing. Panda Crespo says, best Batman movie. I'd have to give it to The Dark Knight, the second of the Christopher Nolan movies. Although I thought Batman Begins was great. Dark Knight Rises had some nice production value. There were some really cool scenes, like the opening scene with the plane, but it was just too complicated for me. Like, the way Heath Ledger dying ruined that franchise, that trilogy for me. Martin says, have you seen Rocky? I've seen all the Rockies a million times. I love the Rocky movies. Next Gen Break says Mortal Kombat. So I've been watching the Mortal Kombat movie on HBO Max off and on for like a week. I watch like 20 minutes at a time. I do that with movies sometimes, like where I have 20 minutes here or there. And I like to do it with a movie that's like kind of action-y, because I have trouble sitting through a lot of fighting for over a long movie because I start to lose focus. I like to really look at an action or a fight sequence, like the back and forth, how it's choreographed. And so I like to take my time and really focus on movies with a lot of fight scenes. I do the same thing with like the John Wick movies. I go see them in the theater, but then when I get them at home, I'll watch them like a little bit at a time over the course of like a week. Borg says, hi, welcome, Borg. How you doing, buddy? Long time no see for Borg.
Hello.
Gary Sanchez hits a one-hopper to short. First pitch of the inning. And he's thrown out. Whitlock does a great job. He really gets in on the hands of righties. He's got a good two-seam fastball. Not So Family Vision says HBO Max is the best streaming service. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with that. It doesn't like the app has some good stuff on it. I think Vudu is my favorite streaming service. VUDU. It's owned by Walmart, and they have all these awesome sales. You can scan your Blu-rays and put them onto the app. It's awesome. Martin says, have you ever seen Goodfellas? Of course I've seen Goodfellas. Goodfellas is an all-time favorite. I think I've got a Goodfellas soundtrack here somewhere. Maybe not. I used to have one. Gleyber Torres homered earlier. In case you missed it, he's 1 for 1 on the day. He also drew a walk. Swings over a changeup, 1-2. David says hello. How's it going, David?
Hello.
It's been a pretty fun watch party. It's good that the Yankees are winning as Gleyber Torres strikes out. Looked like a high changeup, 83 miles an hour. Second strikeout for Whitlock. Not So Family Fun Vision says, have you ever seen The Godfather? You guys are going to hate me. I've seen The Godfather, but not since I was a really little kid, like it was on. I haven't seen it in probably 25 years. Couldn't tell you anything about it, but I do want to watch it again. Chris Gittin steps in, takes a 97-mile-an-hour fastball high, 1-0. Bacon asks if I watch Step Brothers. Yeah, that's a great one. Why are you sweating so much? I was watching Cops. Slider away, 85 miles an hour, 2-0. Guys, I made the most delicious spaghetti and meatballs tonight. It was so amazing. I'm thinking about it right now. Just like I want to go eat more of it, but it's 9:15 at night, so I can't. Gittins fouls it off late, 96 miles an hour. They're talking about David Cone threw his no-hitter on the day that Don Larson was in the ballpark. I believe it was Yogi Berra Day. Gittins late again, 97. You can tell Gittins has a ton of power because he doesn't swing very hard, but he still whips the bat around very, very quick. He's a big guy, very big, strong hands and shoulders. If he gets his entire mass behind the ball, it's going to go. Shawshank Redemption, absolutely have seen Shawshank, one of my all-time favorites. I love the way that's written. Sal says, how long has Michael Kay been calling Yes Network games? He called the first game on Yes Network. I believe it was 2002 or 2003, so it's been a while. Gittins fouls one off. You know what? Gittins has a good compact swing to me. I honestly think he would be able to hit. Like, I feel like he would adjust to major league hitting. He could be a good hitter. He's got a good swing. Has a big strike zone. He stands way off the plate. Swung on and missed. I like his swing, though, but he strikes out to end the inning here. Andrew says, if I had money, I would donate, but you can take this. Hey, your support is plenty for me. I appreciate that, my friend. Ashlyn with the super chat. Appreciate that, Ashton. Ashlyn, sorry. Says, do you think Boone will put Chapman in tonight? Oh, that's a really good question. I think it would be sending a message if you don't. I'd like to see them stay away from Chapman. Honestly, I hope the Yankees can get like another couple of runs, but if it's 3 runs, I think they'll go to him. I really do. Spade says, this is a great question. After you watch a movie, what do you try to do? Just like rewatch it for fun, or do you look for things you don't notice? So the first time I watch a movie, I just try and stay immersed and just try and follow along what's happening. You know, I'm not great at paying attention. My mind wanders. I've got a little bit of ADD. And so I just try and stay in on the story. And if I enjoyed it and I found myself sucked in, I'll go back and watch it. And like you said, look for things like knowing the ending. I'll look for like foreshadowing and things like that. But, you know, occasionally I'll put on movies just for fun. My buddy Tom and I watch a lot of movies together. He's a big movie fan. And occasionally we watch The Big Short. We'll just, you know, we probably watched that movie 3 or 4 times, and it's just hilarious. And we know all the lines to it. Tell me how you're fucking us. And so I'm standing in front of a burning building, and I'm offering you fire insurance on it. Yeah, so we do the lines and stuff, and we watch. We do the movie lines. We're not doing lines, you know. It's fun, and that's just that's kind of how I like to watch a movie sometimes. Is just have fun and goof off. ESPN and Espanol ridiculing the Yankees. Is that permitted? Hey, look, we tell the truth on this channel. There have been plenty of times where I've ridiculed the Yankees. People have accused me of being a negative fan. I got a lot of hate last week because of that. But I consider myself a positive fan and a realistic fan. It is permitted, but it is what it is. Not So Family Fun Vision says, ever consider making a movie channel? I have one. If you go to my channel, like my Yankees channel, and just look at like other channel, it's up in the upper right-hand corner. It's called STREAMSKI. So I have a movie channel. I started out doing YouTube as a movie channel, and I plan on going back to it at some point. My goal would be to have 2 like really good revenue generating channels, Yankees and then STREAMSKI, and then maybe even a gaming channel. So I created STREAMSKI Gaming. That would be kind of like the trifecta for me. Nick Monaco says, I've watched Dodgeball 89 times. It never gets old. I was thinking when the guy threw the wrench or whatever. That was rough. BB loves The Big Short. Love The Big Short. Lucas Litke warming up. It's a 2-0 count from Chad Green. I'm going to pay attention to the game for a few more minutes. I feel like I've been letting my attention slip, and we're getting into an important part of the game. Duran fouls it off. Hope you guys are having fun. We don't do a lot of watch parties, but I've been saying I'm going to bring them back. I'm going to bring them back and do more of them. There's a little bit of talk of Joe Buck. You know, I don't hate Joe Buck the way a lot of people hate him, but I don't love Joe Buck either. Tropic Thunder, great movie. Daniel Pierce says, Whitlock will probably haunt us for years. First of all, dono hype. And second of all, you're probably right. He probably will. That's looking like a bonehead move from the Yankees organization. Yankees have the shift on for Duran, who is 0 for 2. Green works up above the zone and misses 3-2. Jack Wagner says, party time. Excellent. Wayne's World. Another classic. Jackson says, is Loizaga available to pitch? He is not. And Green strikes out Duran on a high fastball, 96 above the zone. 1 away. Second strikeout of the night for Chad Green. Ashlyn says, her mom makes fun of Boone the way he chews his gum every time he gets anxious. Yeah, he does do a lot of gum chewing, doesn't he? It kind of bothers me, but it is what it is. People have their... He seems like he chews all game. Chad Green deals a fastball, fouled away, 0-1. Yankees just tweeted, Trey Ambergy left tonight's game with a hamstring cramp. Right hamstring cramp. So maybe it's not a pull. Maybe he'll be back. E said, if you're a diehard Yankees fan and you get drafted by the Red Sox, would you play for them or deny? Yeah, I would play. I'm so competitive that, like, you know, I would always root for the Yankees when they weren't playing us, but I always played my hardest on the field, always. Lori C says, Boone told Susan that Chapman will close the game. God help us. And hit the like and subscribe. Appreciate that. E says, Jeter Downs was named after Derek Jeter, but playing for the enemy. That's a good fact. Martin says, just want to say the watch parties are so much fun. Appreciate that, man. Anything to keep me from going outside.
Ah! Natural light! Get it off me! Get it off me!
Chad Green deals high, 2-2. That looked like a cutter that he kind of lost the grip on, kind of stayed up. I'll tell you what, Vasquez has a lot of pine tar on his hat, on his helmet, rather. It's kind of gross looking. Bacon says, do you prefer movies or series? I don't know if I have a preference. Quentin Tarantino, I've been watching a lot of interviews with him because I'm trying to study not only his movies, his work, but filmmaking in general. I want to make a film someday. And he was talking about budgets. You know, a movie might have $100 million budget that's squeezed into 2 hours. So there's a lot more grand scale. Whereas, you know, you might have the same budget for a miniseries, but it's spread over 8 episodes. So you can spread it out and develop the characters. So it just comes down to personal preference. BB says you're going to see Zach Britton and Aroldis Chapman tonight. That's the team we hired. I think that's probably what's going to happen. I think they're hoping that Chad Green can get through this inning. I hope the Yankees can tack on a run or two. It would be nice to have a 5-run lead going into the 8th. That's my goal. 5-run lead. It's 3-2 from Chad Green. He's thrown 20 pitches so far, mostly fastballs, but mixes in a curveball now and again. And he walked him. Fastball inside off the plate at 97. It's going to put a runner on first base. Swainer says, is Greg Allen Adolis Garcia? I don't think so. I don't think he has the power. He's not a power hitter, but he does. I mean, he swings the bat well from both sides of the plate. First pitch to Dahlbeck is a slider. Slider away. Ashton says, can you do watch parties anytime the game is on Fox? I don't like the commentator. So, I struggle with when to do watch parties because the weekends aren't like the greatest time for web traffic. But I prefer to do them on nights, like you said, where it's a national televised game because when there's a nationally televised game, you can't get highlights. MLB doesn't put up highlights until after the game. Now, you can steal them. You can like screen record and do things like that. But you can't use the MLB film room. And so that's where I get my highlights. It's too much work to go through and record it the other way. So I'm probably going to stick to doing my watch parties on either Saturday or Sunday. He gets Dahlbeck on a slider / curveball down in the zone, 87 miles an hour, third strikeout for Chad Green. By the way, I want to give a shout out to a couple of Yankees channels that I really like. First of all, Frankie Baseball. He came on the podcast a couple weeks ago. I love his post-game commentary. I think that he's an up-and-comer. I mean, he's a youngin', and you can't account for whether or not people will stick with it, but I think he'll do a great job. And then I want to give a shout-out to Pat over at Unhinged. You heard him earlier. Another guy up-and-coming, doing a great job. All parts of this Yankees community. Martin says, you like Jurassic World. I liked the Jurassic World concept. I don't think it was executed great. Like, I could have done without some of the storylines, like the kids. Like, I just didn't love it. Luke wants me to do watch parties every day. It just takes a lot out of me to do a 3-hour episode. Not everybody can watch a 3-hour video. I prefer to do the recaps. I want to watch the games and then come back and tell you what I thought of them. That's kind of what I like to do. By the way, we are at 14,841 subscribers right now. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. I'm inching towards 15,000. The goal is to be at 25,000 by next season. I think we can get there. This one is popped foul. Lori's a fan of 161 River. Yeah, I love him too. Jason is fantastic. Spade says Beetlejuice or It. Well, it depends on which It. The classic miniseries of It from the 90s was great. But Beetlejuice is an all-time favorite. And they're actually making a Beetlejuice 2. I posted it on my Twitter. 1-2 pitch. Swung on in line to center field. Gardner makes the play. And we will head to the 7th inning stretch. Yanks lead 3-0. Going to take a quick Manscaped ad just to get them a few more views. I want to thank them. They've done a nice job. They've helped me present today. So let's go to Manscaped. The Olympics are back, and it's time to award the gold medal for male grooming products, Manscaped. Their 4th-generation performance package includes the brand new Lawnmower 4.0, Talk about a world-class dismount into a post-quarantine world. The world is now open for business, and the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is here to help get you ready. Inside, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, plus 2 free gifts, Performance Boxer Briefs and the Shed Travel Bag. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code NYY Recaps. That's all one word at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code NYY Recaps at manscaped.com. Your balls will feel like they won the gold. So help yourself, help my sponsor, help the show. Go to manscaped.com, use the code NYY Recaps.
My kind of team, Charlie. It's my kind of team.
So the score is 3-0 Yankees. We are in the 7th inning stretch. I appreciate all the support for everybody who's mentioning the 15,000. We're closing in on it. You know, I was thinking about it. I posted this on Patreon. You know, the more hate you get as you get bigger. I've had so many haters, you know, just horrible people saying terrible things. That I'm not sure I want to get as big as John Boy. You know, I as much fun as it would be to have 1 million people and to be known, I don't know if I want to be that famous. I want to get big enough to where I can do this full time and do it for several years and then go on and do something else. Make a movie possibly. It's something I've wanted to do. I've wanted to make like a documentary film or like a fan film, like a, you know, potentially a fan horror film, something I've always wanted to do. Martin says, favorite actor of all time. That's a tough one. I tend to never miss a Bradley Cooper movie. I love Bradley Cooper. He's fantastic. I think that Tom Hanks is incredible. I love Kevin Costner. All these guys. Douglas Rouse says, Michael Keaton is coming back as Batman in the Flash movie. That is 100% true. Earl in the house. Earl. Appreciate that. With the dono. Not So Family Fun Vision says, Michael Keaton, the best Batman. You are 100% correct. I agree.
Yes, I agree.
Douglas keeps dropping a quote. Says, those who know don't criticize, and those who criticize don't know. I love those kind of phrases where it's almost like a palindrome where it starts off like, good work is never easy. Hard work is never easy, or, you know, working hard or hardly working, like those type of things. Spade says 1990 miniseries of It or Beetlejuice. I'm still sticking with Beetlejuice. And yes, Beetlejuice will have Winona Ryder and Michael Keaton. If you go to my Twitter, @MusingsOfDerek, there's a picture of the poster for the Beetlejuice 2. Brett Gardner leads off, takes a ball from Darwinzon Hernandez up and away. Takes another one up and in. 2-0. Daniel says he'll be a stunt double in my movie. I appreciate that. So there's one called Never Hike in the Woods, which is like a Jason Voorhees fan movie. And that's kind of my template for what I want to do, like a 30 to 45 minute fan film about something like that. But I was thinking about doing a prequel to Nightmare on Elm Street, like about them hunting down Freddy Krueger. I thought that would be fun. Lori C with the $5 donut. The quality and content of your channel is outstanding. Would recommend Patreon for more really good stuff. Thanks for the watch party, Derek. Appreciate that, Lori. One of my most staunch supporters. Yeah, the Patreon stuff, I mean, don't feel obligated to that because I know not everybody wants to see me just vlog about random stuff, but I talk a little bit about baseball stuff, but it's mostly just personal stuff. It's mostly like behind the scenes channel stuff, what I'm thinking about doing. It's about life today. I posted a 13-minute video on life and death and the nature of existence and consciousness, which is hard to wrap up in 13 minutes. Andrew's got to run. Appreciate tonight, Andrew.
Bye-bye.
Rainier Caldera is back.
Hello there.
So it's 3-2 to Brett Gardner. Rougned Odor on deck. Tough at bat for Gardner off the lefty. Hit here would be huge. Grounds it through the left side for a base hit for Brett Gardner. Creeper says, I love how this is a Yankees baseball channel and we talk about random things. So that's the thing about watch parties is watch parties, anything goes, right? I mean, I tend to make like 99.9999% of my content that's like pre-recorded or even live stream directly related to the Yankees, like a direct Yankees video analysis, video breakdowns. But watch parties, you got to fill 3 hours, right? So it's like, talk about anything that interests me. And, you know, I love talking movies because it's endless. As Rougned Odor gets into one to deep right. This one headed for the bleachers. Goodbye. Home run. And I called it 5-0. There we go.
That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
Positively odious. 104 miles an hour off the bat. 418 feet. Great bat flip from Rougned Odor. Home run.
It's a home run.
Christian gets it right. I wanted a 5-0 lead. Now let's see if this bullpen can hold it. Bruce Lee says, will you change your opinion about Odor if he has a breakout second half? I'm not one of those people who's necessarily set in stone about anything. I'll change my mind with new information about anything. Old Spice, where will you be when the Odor hits? I love it.
My kind of team, Charlie. It's my kind of team.
Here comes Ryan LaMarre. He takes a fastball outside at 95 miles an hour. That was a bomb. That was one of those high arcing home runs. Love it. Prince Boss says, take the series. We are no longer asking. I love the attitude. Not So Family Fun Vision says he loves Odor because he reminds him of Didi. He does have that spark plug mentality. They might be able to turn him into a decent player. LaMarre takes a slider down and in. Yankees might have a big inning here. Antonio says Pat's going to be sad when he finds out that LaMarre got injured. So Pat was watching the game. We had him live on the chat for a minute. He came on and said hello. He was quite upset. E says Johnny Lasagna. Not going to see him today. Still on the COVID IL, but he has been cleared to return. I think we'll see him tomorrow. Spades is stuck on it. So Tim Curry played the clown Pennywise. Beep, beep, Richie. I love it. We all float down here. And when you're here with me, you'll float too. Junior B says, wait, what happened? Ambergy got injured? Yeah, Ambergy left with a cramp in his right hamstring. As LaMarre draws a walk, Yankees continue to do work here in the 7th inning. Nicholas says, do you smoke weed whenever the Yankees lose? Why? Where would that? That's a weird question. No, I prefer to keep my mind and body healthy. So, Prince Boss, the Yankees put out a tweet that said he left with a hamstring cramp. So, it might not even be a pull. He might be back tomorrow, honestly. Jackson Riseback says, dumb move to take Whitlock out. Yeah, Whitlock was dominating. And Corey TV says 5-0 lead, definitely better than 3-0. It's 2/3 better. And LaMarre goes to second and steals second base. He's safe. Red Sox might take a look at it. And his pant leg came all the way up. You can see his sliding pants. It came way up. You can see way too much leg. It must be Italian. It's Fragile. Spade says, can you be a clown at my little cousin's birthday party or something? Sorry, guys. I got a job. I'm not doing any clown work. Yeah, Lamar's pant leg came all the way up. Weird. Yeah, he's in there. Here's Greg Allen. Low-key been very solid since he came up. Picked up another base hit tonight. Let's see here. Let's try and get... Allen is 1 for 1. It's 3-0 on Greg Allen, who's batting .600. I think that would be a record if you could do that all year. Ashland with a great point says, loving this hustle. Loving this hustle from these young players. 100%. Yeah, these guys are putting in the effort. I love that. You haven't really seen that from the whole team this year, and I'm not going to lie. John N says, every time I've seen Greg Allen play, he's been nothing but contact as he draws a walk here. No contact here, but gets on base, can use his speed. Says he can't be the only one who sees this. Yeah, he's looking good to me. I don't want to jinx it, but he's looking good to me. By the way, Dono hype. And we're going to have a pitching change here as Cora goes to the bullpen. I'm going to take a quick break. I will be right back.
My kind of team,
All right, we're back.
Charlie. It's my kind of team.
We are back. DJ LeMahieu steps in. He's kicking dirt. Bottom of the seventh. The Yankees have had a little bit of seventh inning magic here. Yankees have a chance to gain on Boston. They are currently 8 games back. Brandon Workman in for the Red Sox. So far this year, 4.50 ERA in 22 innings. Hey, Pepper, come here, girl. Hey, Cece. We got a dog coming. Hey, girl. You want to be on TV? Come say hi. This is Cece the dog. Daniel misses Curtis Granderson. Granderson was a fun player for the Yankees. A lot of power, a lot of speed, left-handed bat. I just drink water nonstop during these things, baby. That's why so many breaks. I'm really proud of myself. I gave up soda. I've been drinking soda for my whole life. But over the last few weeks, I have not had a soda. I had a lot of headaches early on. Caffeine withdrawals. I still drink coffee, though, so I still get a little bit of caffeine. Jacob deGrom has been placed on the IL. No structural damage. Okay, something's happening here. Umpires come out. They're talking to the pitcher. They're pointing at somebody in the stands, saying maybe a fan has a laser. Honestly, guys, just watch the game when you go to the game. You pay, what, $100 a ticket? Just go and have a good time. Have a couple of hot dogs. Have a couple of beers. Enjoy the game. So they're pointing out there at somebody. I guess somebody has a laser beam or something that's shooting at the hitter's eye. John N. wants some help, says he's overweight, addicted to dopamine-wise to eating. Can someone help? First of all, don't know hype. I'm not the most fit guy. I'm okay. I'm about 200 pounds, but I can say that in the past when I've tried to not eat between, late hours, 7, 8 p.m. and then middle of the next day for a while, that's helped. Giving up soda has definitely helped. Drinking water. So, the catcher was the one complaining here, Vasquez. So maybe somebody's shining a light at the catcher. That's interesting. Oh, geez. Douglas says, no easy solution. Just stay away from the sugar and move your body more. Swimming is an awesome workout. Yeah, I love swimming. Good curveball from Workman. It's 2-2. Ashlyn says the guy who hit Verdugo got banned for life from all MLB parks. Nuts. That guy, you can't do that. You can't throw balls at players. Lucky he's not in jail. This one popped up by LeMahieu to right field. It's going to be first out of the inning. Runners on first and second. Yankees up 5-0. Got 2 runs in this inning on the 2-run home run from Rougned Odor. Home run earlier from Gleyber Torres to left field. Douglas says he only drinks soda maybe once per week. Yeah, soda's my vice, man. I love soda. It feels so good when it hits your lips. Like the fizziness and the sugar is just great. But it keeps me up. It it's just it's tough. So they're showing the light. The camera found the light, so that's weird. Yeah, it looked like a cell phone. It didn't look like a laser pointer. Douglas Rouse says ginger ale is a good substitute for Coke. Gets you the carbonation, but a lot less sugar. I might try that someday. I usually have ginger ale when I'm not feeling good. Like it makes me feel better when my stomach hurts. Here's Giancarlo. He needs to run into one. Giancarlo needs a home run right here. If Giancarlo hits a 3-run home run, we're going to get some party noises up in this beast. It's weird that the young guys are the ones doing well. It's almost like we've been saying, bring in some energy, get some youth in here. I would love to see what Hoy-Jun Park can do. I feel like the Yankees are too down on their own minor league system. Like, why even have a guy in your system if you don't ever want him to play? Eric C. says, try carbonated water instead of soda. You'll still get that sensation without the sugar or the flavor. I'll tell you what, I like these little, like, the terrace areas that they've added to the bleachers because there were some blind spots out there when they first opened the stadium where you couldn't see the other side of the field. I just felt like the stadium was not built great for a fan experience in center field. Yawning, tired, getting late. Giancarlo whiffs at a hanging slider right down the middle. Par for this course for Giancarlo. I got to admit, I'm not feeling great about Giancarlo right now. Bill says he was addicted to soda for years, and then he swore off of it for a month and doesn't even want it anymore. Yeah, I've gone 4 or 5 days, maybe a little bit longer, like 6 or 7 maybe, without it. As Giancarlo hits this one to center field, fairly deep, but it's going to get caught out there in front of the warning track. 2 outs. LaMarre goes to third. And I find that I'm craving it less and less. I drink a lot of water with lemon these days, and a lot of just bottled water. I have about 200 of these bottles of water in an ottoman over here underneath one of my desks. Giancarlo just missed that one. Giancarlo's almost too tall for the dugout. John N with a super chat that I'm not going to put up. Appreciate that, John. I reserve the right to not put them up if they're cringeworthy. Come on, Gary. We need Gary to turn on one right here. We need to blow this game open. I trust Chapman with an 8-run lead, which is saying something. Zach Britton warming up in the bullpen. And Allen takes second base, steals second base. I love this guy's speed. Yo, we got a lot of people saying Allen is a keeper. I'm going to go ahead and agree. Allen is a keeper. He's legendary. He got a good jump, real good jump, and he's got some speed. I can't wait to see the Martian up here stealing bases, hitting triples, hitting home runs. So somebody asked me in the chat a while back ago, and I saw it, but I didn't respond to it. Where do you get the minor league stats? So go to MILB.com. Somebody go to MILB.com today and tell me what Jason Dominguez did today, because I haven't looked at it yet. But you go to, that's Minor League Baseball's official website. Justin King says Gardner's replacement. It's looking that way. He's looking great out there. Borg says, do you like the band The Outfield? I've only heard a couple of their songs, like the what's the one? Josie's on a vacation far away. I think that's The Outfield. I don't know what it's called. I think it's I don't want to use your love tonight. I don't know. I can't sing. Sorry. Gary takes a 3-0 slider for a strike. Mr. Next Best Thing says 1 for 4 with a single from Jason Dominguez. Appreciate that, guys. If you guys hear something in the background, my cat is meowing. So it's actually my wife's cat, this cat named Lucky. And he has this little black, he's a big black cat, and he's got this little black cat, like Beanie Baby type thing that he carries around with him. And he meows as he's carrying it around. Wow. And he'll do that for like 20 minutes. Base is loaded. Panda Crespo says, ass is loaded. Hey-o. And Gleyber Torres stepping in. Nick says, I like how a number of the Yankees' top prospects are left-handed. Yeah, Austin Wells and now Trey Sweeney. Love it. Levi says, you're awesome. Appreciate you streaming this. Thank you so much, Levi. You're awesome. They're showing a replay of Gleyber's home run earlier today. Hit it well. 5 or 6 rows deep. Man, how great would it be for him to hit a grand slam right here? Eric C. says, Jason is now batting 300, 417 on base percentage, 867 OPS. Gleyber's really struggling on fastballs. They're talking about his slugging percentage on fastballs being 280, lowest in the league. Takes a breaking ball, of course, for a strike. John N. says, Luis Blue and Medina greater than Davy Garcia. Davy has not impressed me this year. Don't know how. Appreciate that. Breaking ball inside from Workman. Borg says, did Trey Sweeney sign yet? He did not sign yet, but we should hear something pretty soon. Two and 1 to Gleyber Torres. Levi says, can you do this for other games, please? Yeah, I do this occasionally. People seem to like it. We do it on occasion, typically for games that are on national TV. And Gleyber swings too hard at a breaking ball, bounces it foul. Workman in a bit of a jam here. See if he can work out of it. Gleyber looking focused. I'll tell you what, Gleyber needs to not think grand slam here. This is a situation where you've got a big hole on the right side. If you can just take a base hit through the right side, you can get in 2 runs and make it 7-0. I don't think you're coming back from 7-0 if you're the Red Sox, although it's possible. Gleyber takes a breaking ball down. Raid says, how was the collab with Frankie? Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I only got to talk to him for about 20 minutes. We had connection issues, and so we didn't get to put it up very well. But I think we're going to be doing more stuff together in the future. Come on, Gleyber. Use that right side. Let's go. Draws the walk. Breaking ball outside. Good job by Gleyber Torres. Good job. We're gonna get the we need a noise for a run for the Yankees scoring a run. Let me see if I can find something here that works for the run. Glockenspiel. There we go. Nick says you're not 2 minutes behind us anymore now that you changed your internet connection. Yeah, that's good. I'm loving this new internet connection, man. 6-0 Yankees here in the bottom of the 7th, and now Chris Gittens steps up. How great would a Gittens grand slam be? Takes a slider away. Micah says, Greg Allen has changed this team completely. We have speed. We have speed that's getting on base. That's the key thing. We've had speed. Tyler Wade, Brett Gardner, they just don't get on base enough. They're not aggressive enough. I'm sure the Yankees will tell him to stop being so aggressive on the bases and stay in one spot so that they can hit into more double plays. John says, can't find that Dominguez site you gave out. So it's MILB.com, like minor league baseball, MILB.com. By the way, John, tons of donos tonight. Let's hear it for John. Let's give it a round of applause. Hashtag John the man. Three balls and no strikes to Chris Gittens. Hard hitting Chris Gittens. Prince Boss says he recommends the Mario power-up sound. It would be good for runs that do-do-do-do. Yeah, that's a good one. I've got a couple of Mario sounds in here, so that would fit. .3-0 pitch to Gittens. Takes a fastball right down the middle. Had a little bit of cut to it. 91 miles an hour. Come here, Joba. Cat's meowing. Here's Lucky, the aforementioned cat. Mad cats and dogs up in this piece. This is Lucky. And here's Joba. Joba, come on. Come on. Come join the party, Joba. See you at the party, Victor. Come on. Come on. This is Joba. He's my Mr. Bigglesworth. Joba, are you a happy cat? You want to say hi to everybody? Meow. Bases loaded, 3-2 count to Chris Gittens. Yankees lead 6-0. Ball 4 high. He misses with a breaking ball. 7-0. Yankees opening this one up. 5 walks in the inning for the Yankees. Nick Monaco says, this guy needs spider tack. I love it. I love it.
My kind of team, Charlie. It's my kind of team.
BB's a fan of the mic. Appreciate that. I did a lot of research. I tried the Rodecaster mic, which is the last one I had, and it was a XLR mic, and it just wasn't great for streaming. And so I went ahead and bought the Shure mic, which is it's a popular brand. You might have seen it on the Joe Rogan podcast, but this is the USB version of it, and I like it because it has an automatic condenser or compressor rather. So I can compress my vocals, which I would usually do in post-production. I can do it live on the fly right now, so that's great. We need a Guardy party here. If he plants one in the seats, I'm going to call it a night, guys, because I think that would pretty much do it. And we're after 10 o'clock. I would love to get some sleep. I think I might wrap this up pretty early anyway. The Yankees are leading, but unless they blow it open by like 10 runs, we're going to stay on. Takes a cutter up and in. 3-0 to Gardy. I mean, at some point you got to get this pitcher out of here, right? I like the high socks on Gary Sanchez. I'll say that. Gardy takes a fastball up and in for a strike. It'll be a 3-1 to Brett Gardner. And he grounds it to first. And he's done. Inning over. He hit it pretty hard, but right at the first baseman. And after 7, Yankees lead 7-0. We'll stick with it here. AB says, can we blow a 7-run lead? Absolutely, we can blow a 7-run lead. You're going to see Zach Britton this inning. Hopefully he can have a nice, quick, easy inning. The thing about Zach Britton is when he's on, he's pretty efficient because it's just a hard sinker. It's tough to do anything with, so he hits a lot of ground balls. When he's off, he'll nibble and just not be around the strike zone very much. You expect with a 7-0 lead that he's going to attack the strike zone with sinkers. Felipe heading out, says he's got to go. I'll see you later, Felipe. Appreciate you joining.
Bye-bye.
Guys, we just hit the 3-hour mark. Shout out to everybody who's joined. These series, these Red Sox-Yankees games take forever. Forever. Fritz wants a Yankees rally killer belt. By the way, since we have time, it's looking like the Yankees are going to win. Who is the candidate for the belt? Just drop it in the chat who you think should get the belt. And then I will do a morning Yanks tomorrow and award the belt. Ashlyn says Torres. Right now, I think I would vote for either Allen or Jameson Taillon. Taillon was great. Taillon had shutout baseball going. Ashlyn now says Allen. Yeah, Allen's done a nice job, but he's, one hit. I don't even have a Greg Allen headshot. I've got to get a Greg Allen headshot before I can give him the belt. Lori C says Taillon. Another vote for Allen. Odor with the belt. Gleyber or Jamo from Borg. Another vote for Taillon. Luke says Allen. Prince Boss says Allen. Bruce Lee says Taillon. I'm seeing a lot of Allens, but I mean, what is he? I mean, he's 1 for 1. Yeah, he scored 2 runs, drew a walk. He's been on base every time, stolen base. But I mean, Odor had a 2-run homer, and Jameson Taillon threw 5 1/3 shutout innings. Man, Allen is crushing it in the chat. You guys love some Allen. Here comes Zach Britton. Steven D8 says Ambergy for the belt, just for sacrificing his body. Alexander Patton says, yeah, Odor dropped a drag bunt that started the rally, and he hit a big home run. Odor would be a great pick. This is a great team game. So, yeah, somebody else says, everyone, great team effort. Allen also had a sac fly, I guess. That was his first RBI. Odor has 2 RBIs, though. He's 2 for 3. 2-run homer. And then Jameson Taillon, 5 1/3 shutout innings. His ERA is down to 4.6. Hey. I like Allen as a player, and I think he's a good player, but I think the player of the game tonight is probably Odor or Taillon. Game's not over yet. True, says G-Man Boater. Spade says Aaron Boone should hold the belt one day. Yeah, the day we give out the belt for most bubbles popped in a game. And Zach Britton, 2-2. Misses with the slider. Another super chat from John. Give it to Park for keeping the seat warm on the bench. Love it. Yeah, I think Park needs to get in the game more. Jack Wagner says, real wet blanket. I don't really know what that means. Did you piss on yourself? I don't get it. I'm just glad we haven't gotten taken over by Red Sox fans. They've been pretty quiet tonight. I guess a 7-0 lead will do that, but they do lead the division by 8 games. 7 after tonight, hopefully. Johnny Castillo. What's up, Johnny Castillo? How are you doing today?
Hello.
Zach Britton, 3-2. You got to throw a strike here. You can't be walking guys up 7-0. Strike 3. Down and in sinker, 94 miles an hour. We need a strikeout sound. We need like a base hit sound. So I'm going to do more watch parties, but I've got to create, I'm going to create a folder full of in-game sounds. I think that would be more fun. Big Slick says, what up? What up, Big Slick?
Hello.
In comes JD Martinez. He's singled to right field earlier. Cuts and misses at a down and in sinker. Yanks doing a nice job with their C squad. Oh, Jack Wagner says, wet blanket because someone said they might lose with a 7-run lead in the 8th. Well, I mean, they might, but yeah, I think we can feel pretty good at this point. Oh, man, great idea. Borg says, do the PC Richard and Son sound for a K. Hey, Joba, you want to come back up? Come on. What's up, pal? My cat's a big fan of me. So technically, it wouldn't really be a series win because you still got to play the 4th game, but it would ensure at least a series split, and it would gain you a game in the standings. Joba, you like watch parties? Joba's a big fan. He likes arm snuggles. Junior B says, if they blow this game, I really am done with the season then. Yeah, I don't think that they're going to blow this game, but it's a possibility. It happens. We've seen it. I don't want to see that happen. That will be a nightmare for me. I'm really looking forward to ending the weekend on a positive note. Jobacam. This is Jobacam. Lori C says, Joe Torre is 81 today. Happy birthday, Joe.
Happy birthday!
81 years old. What a great life he's had. MVP, multiple world championships as a manager. A lot of people not fans of A-Rod in the chat. Daniel Capese says, duct tape and rubber bands holding the team together. You are not kidding, brother. Nice game by Jameson Taillon today. 3-2 count, Zach Britton, and he walks a guy up 7-0 in the 8th inning. How do you walk hitters up 7-0? Just throw it down the middle with some movement and get a ground ball. Gonna have me ranting up in this piece, up 7-0. But the good thing about Zach Britton is he can easily get a ground ball. So Chavez steps in, takes a ball low. Yanks going for the series win for the weekend, 2 out of 3. It won't technically be a series win. You still got to play the last one, but I'm going to treat it like a win. I'm going to be happy about it. Roglio Morphin says, is Chapman coming out now for sure? I would think they'll bring him in with a nice lead like this. Just get him some work. Yankees 17-24 versus the AL East. Rough. Ball and 2 strikes to Chavis. Swings at a sinker. Zach Britton's had a tough year. A lot of injuries. Zach Britton has some hairy fucking arms. Tim Burns says, will you do a Frieze tomorrow? I think I'm probably going to do either a Frieze or a Morning Yanks tomorrow. I'm going to do something in the morning. I haven't decided what. I think a lot of it's going to be determined by how this game finishes up. But, you know, one or the other. You'll get something tomorrow. I try and not take too many days off. I tell you what, Joba is liking this watch party because he never just gets to sit in my lap without me throwing him off. Next Gen Break says, if the Yankees win both the series against the Red Sox, will they make the playoffs? I don't think you can say that. I mean, they've got to play well the entire rest of the year. They've got to play at like a much better pace than they've played all year. They've got to win probably 94 games, and I don't think that's going to happen. Lori C., big fan of the Frieze. I love doing the Frieze, man. It's coming together. That's something that I'm going to build on for next season. This is season 2 of NYY Recaps. By season 5, it's going to look totally different. It's going to be like recaps, highlights, the Frieze, like multiple times per week. Right now, I'm still kind of figuring out what I like to do and what I'm good at and what people respond to. And you can use the stats like the analytics to see what people watch the longest. And I can tell that people watch the Frieze. I tend to do the Frieze at the end of a series because there's highlights from the entire series and it takes like 5 or 6 minutes. And then I can talk over the rest of it. So, you know, I like the Frieze. It gives me a chance to write. But tomorrow I may do a Morning Yanks. We'll see how I'm feeling in the morning. See how well I sleep. Jack Wagner says, keep the midges away from Joba. That's a man who's been watching baseball for a while. What do you think, Joby? Next Gen says, who do the Yankees need to trade for to win 94 games? It's not that simple. It's just not that simple. You can't just go out and get whoever you want. Other teams have to give you that, and then you have to execute on the field. Antonio Sanchez is a fan of the Martian Tracker. I love the Martian Tracker. That's my favorite piece of content. I'd say Yankees Game Day is my favorite piece of content, followed by the Martian Tracker. Those are not going anywhere. You guys responded. You love the Yankees Game Day, so I'm going to stick with that. I just wish that the Yankees were closer to first place or in first place. It would make things a lot more fun. There'd be a lot more fun things to talk about. So next year, I mean, it's going to be the Frieze, the Martian Tracker, recaps, and Yankees game day. Those are going to be the 4 main pieces that you're going to see next year. And that's pretty much what you're going to see the second half of the season. And watch parties occasionally. These watch parties, I mean, they're fun. They're a lot of fun for you guys. They're a little tough for me to do because I lose my voice by the end of them. Anthony says, what type of cat is Joba? I think he's a Persian Himalayan, something like. He's a mix of some stuff. I call him Joba Jihad. He's a terrorist. He chews up on cords, chews up on straws, pees on the carpet. He's a horrible, horrible person, but I love him anyway. Prince Boss says, if the 2019 Nats can do it, so can we. Somebody pull up the Nats record after, let's say, 90 games. What were the Nats in 2019 after 90 games? You can go to Baseball Reference and click on the... You know what? I'll just go ahead and do it. Okay, Baseball Reference. So we're going to look up the Nationals as Britain has put 2 men on. And Aaron Boone is coming out, and he's shaking his head. And they're going to go to the bullpen. Lucas Litke coming in. That'll give us time to look at the Nationals 2019 season. So schedule and results. Let's take a look here. After 90 games, I'm just going to say, after 90 games, the Nationals were 48-42. So they were a couple games better than the Yankees are right now. And they still came back to win the World Series. But they had young, exciting... Look, they had Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg and young Juan Soto. That was a good team. I don't see anybody that level on the Yankees right now. Other than maybe Aaron Judge. John N says, super chat for Joba Jihad. Appreciate that, John. And Roger's got a good point. The Nationals' run was very impressive, but they were a wild card that year. They didn't win the division. Daniel says he has a cat that plays fetch with paper balls and also jumps and catches them. So some of you who've been watching for a while might remember Gizmo. She died in January 19th. She died January 19th. She would play fetch. And I dedicated a video to her after she passed away. But she was good with those little balls. Martin Kalunga says, what's your favorite comedy movie? I'd say either Happy Gilmore or The Big Short. Those are 2 of my favorites. Happy Gilmore is a classic. You're gonna die, clown. Lucas Litke comes in. He's got 33 games this year, 3.35 ERA in 43 innings, 46 strikeouts, just 7 walks, 1.12 WHIP. What a find he was. So for as much crap as we give we have Brian Cashman, he does occasionally bring in these guys, but this is a scout find, right? This is just a scout brought this guy in. Lucas Litke, cutter inside. Jackson says, is there any team we could trade Britton or Chapman to, and what do you think we could get in return? I think you could probably move both of them, honestly. I think you'd probably get a mid-level prospect in return. I don't think either of them is a humongous difference maker at this time. Chapman probably a little bit better than Britton at this point, but someone would give you something for those guys. And I think that if the Yankees decide to make a move, those will be the guys that they trade away. Nelson says, do you like Major League, the movie? Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. It's my favorite baseball movie of all time. Someone asked, do you think that Herman will start against the Phillies? Yeah, probably. Probably. Lucas Litke with 2 runners on, 2-1 count. Needs a ground ball or a pop-up here. Get out of the inning. Misses upstairs with the slider. Struggling to find his command. Borg says it seems like O'Day is done for the season. Probably. This one is looped to right field. That's a base hit. LaMarre comes in. He's going to fire home. Way offline. Ball gets away. And the Red Sox are on the board. Runner goes to third, and he will make it. Litke is, you can see that he was swearing. He was unhappy with how that went. Runner had the stop sign, and he ran right through it, challenging LaMarre's arm. And JD scored. 7-1 now, top of the 8th. Yanks need to get out of this. AJ Chavari says, any news on when Mike King will come back? I haven't seen any. I would follow the account on Twitter of Brian Hoke. He generally is pretty good about tweeting when there's any kind of player movement like that. Come on, Licky. Tim Burns says, what do you think of Allen? I think he's added a nice dimension to this team. He's a switch hitter. He's a contact guy. He's got speed. I don't know how well he's going to hit in the major leagues, but if he can hit, he's going to be an important player. Gives him a different dimension, and a dimension they needed. Prince Boss says he's getting ready to hang it out. Laura Volpe says, here we go. I bet you can sense the tension in the stadium right now with as many leads as the Yankees have blown. Looks like we're having some attention paid to the umpires here. Pressing on the back here. Guys, we're over 3.5 hours now. After this inning, I'm going to call it a night. I've got to take the dogs out before it gets too late. I don't want them to get too off their schedule. My wife is asleep. So after the Yankees hopefully get out of this inning, I'm going to call it an evening. But I feel like a 3.5 hour watch party. We got to see most of it. And then I'll be back at some point tomorrow with something. I'm leaning towards the Frieze or Morning Yanks in the morning. It's like the ump is having back issues. Umpire kind of looks like Harvey Weinstein with longer hair. All right, Gary is getting back behind the dish. We might be getting ready to resume here. Litke throwing a couple of warm-ups. I guess they're still working with the umpires. Luis Cessa warming up in the bullpen. Philly Phil says, thank you for the watch party. Tuning in more. I appreciate it. Yeah, this was a good time. I like that I have a stable internet connection now, and so I don't have all these issues with the stream getting interrupted. And a comfortable chair. Shout out to my parents who got me this chair for my birthday. Rogello says, why not only do watch parties on Sundays? You know, the plan is to do them more on the weekends. The reason I haven't done them more is just because of my internet connection. It's tough to stream. It's, you know, I'm a video editor. I never considered myself a streamer. I consider myself a video guy, a podcaster. But, you know, now that I have a comfortable chair and a stable internet connection, I can go for a while. I feel lame like ducking out early, but it's hard to stream for like 3-4 hours. It's really tough on the voice. Three and one is the count. We need Litke to get out of it here, guys. Three-two is at the top of the zone, or 3-1, sorry. And now it is 3-2 to Duran. Giancarlo Stanton, all smiles on the dugout for some reason. James Volpe says, big out right now. Got a lot of Volpes in here in relation to the Volpe, Anthony Volpe. 3-2 pitch, fouled away. I tell you what, this guy Duran has a great swing. A great swing. All right, Lucas. Big out here. Swung on. Ground ball to short. This should do it. And the top of the eighth is over. Guys, enjoy the final, 9 outs. I'm going to take my dogs out, call it a night. I will see you guys tomorrow. I enjoyed this watch party. It was good seeing all of you. I appreciate all the support for my channel. I'll see you next time. If I can get my outro to work. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps other Yankees fans find the channel.